Hello everybody and welcome to another Learn by Play Tomb of Annihilation stream here on the Wizard of the Coast D&D channel. Welcome back one and all to another episode. Wow, it's only been a week and yet it feels like it's been so much longer away from you guys. But fear not, because we have our cast and crew returning to you guys today for another fantastic episode of this stream. But we do not have Louise with us today. It's because it's her birthday. She'll be celebrating by doing things other than Dungeons & Dragons. Heathenous, I say. But nonetheless, we have a very special guest joining us to fill her role as we get into what is going to be a pretty brutal and a pretty bloody showdown here. But let's start in our usual order with Mr. Toolschool. Let's introduce ourselves. Who are we? Who we're playing? Toolschool, how are you doing, my friend?
I am doing good, getting excited. Pretty sure that I might have TPK'd the party because, hey, that chick is a lich. And I'll be playing Fulton Stump, who is our Furlbog cleric of the Grave domain. And yeah, this is going to get interesting really, really quickly. So let's get to it, I guess. Let's get to the dying.
Might as well get it over as soon as possible, I say. We also have Sydney with us today. How are you doing, Sydney?
Good. I have confidence in us. I think we'll be okay. I'm excited to see how it turns out, and I'm gonna be really sad if we die. I'm playing Reverie Fane. She is a high elf rogue assassin, and I'm happy that we leveled up. So finally, I get to do more fun rogue things.
Yeah, level 5 now for the party, and boy, are these guys gonna need it. Incredible. We have Mr. Encounter Josh back today. How you doing, Josh?
Yeah, I'm good. Just come from a Halloween party, and it got me in the morbid mood for fighting a lich, because as that famous phrase goes, liches be crazy, and I'm super looking forward to that. So I'm playing Bartleby Burt Baxter, or Baxter Burt Bartleby. He will get there eventually. And he is the wizard. He is the tank DPS character. You know, he's the one that you get behind because he's amazing in a fight with his 11 AC and terrible hit points. Yay!
Yay! That's right. Well, fantastic. We've got Bartleby back with us today. Yes, Bartleby Backstabber, as he's been come to known. Luber of tunnels, greaser of party members. He's got a few epithets going on there. But last but not least, we have Mr. Pruitt from the WebDM show. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing quite well, sir. How are you?
I'm well. I'm better for seeing you.
You do me too much.
You do me too.
I will be playing a human bard, College of Swords, by the name of Solomon Gishtar. He's a bit of a gish, as his last name implies, and hopefully today we can instill another saying to tag on to Garrett's saying, but liches should get stitches. So
indeed,
let's see if we can get to it.
Indeed, and as we begin tonight's episode, you guys do have 99 problems, and a lich is one in this case, because
there's the other one.
There it is. Let's see how long we can go on with this. I'm sure it's endless. But yes, the group of you guys have come to an interesting part of your story. So let's do a bit of a recap in just a moment, but I'll remind you guys of what the Learn by Play show is. Plenty of new faces in here as always, so you may not have caught the previous episodes, but Learn by Play is a series in which we focus on how Dungeon Masters and players can run the Tomb of Annihilation. Because of this, we run it a little bit differently from a standard actual play series. I, as the Dungeon Master, take moments away from the actual play to chat with you guys alone in chat, away from the players. Well, they can't hear us. And we plan together. And I try and explain the processes I'm going through and try and hit on a few different topics every single week. This week's topic is going to be voice acting. Doing different voices, doing different accents, doing different tones, and all sorts. And we have a great cast and crew to show some of that off today. And I'll be doing my best to pull off a few bits today as well. But yeah, these Tomb Insight sections, I call them, are great chances for you guys in chat to ask me questions. We'll get some feedback through someone there. There you go. But yeah, and we'll also talk one-on-one with players about their own characters, their development, and the level of communication that we think is best to run a successful game of Tomb of Annihilation. And of course, we're playing Meat Grinder rules, which is going to be particularly great today as we are going to be fighting a lich. And we try to show you guys that whilst It can be a game killer to run Tomb of Annihilation. It doesn't have to be, and as we keep saying, it's here to be enjoyed, not endured. I want it on a t-shirt sometime. But yes, we're going to begin today off just quickly going round, and we're going to remind ourselves of what happened last week. So, the party are in Chult. They have gone searching for the Soulmonger. They found themselves at Camp Vengeance. And they met with Commander Breakbone there. They had a run-in with some undead and undead Allosaurus as well. And they journeyed to meet with the Grung last week. They performed an incredible play, Grung the Musical, which won over the hearts and minds of all of those in Dung Grung Lung. After a rather incredible performance from Josh and his beautiful singing voice last week. If you missed it, you have to go back on YouTube and watch it.
Please don't.
It was great. Show it to all of Josh's friends. And they then, successfully having won over the king, King Grok of Dungrung Lung, he told them some information that there was a wizard, an elven wizard, that lived in a floating tower to the sky, not far south of here, that was looking into the Soulmonger, the terrible death curse that's going on at the moment in Chult, and that she might be a valuable source of information. They journeyed that way. They met with this wizard. Her name was Valindra, and she seemed to be a pretty kind of chill elf girl wizard who told them that the location that she believes the Soulmonger to be in is Omu, an ancient lost city to the south. And she invited them to stay for a while. Unfortunately for her, Bartleby had a bit of a suspicion going on there. No, he didn't, to be fair. Fulton did, and Bartleby just did what he told him to.
Bartleby was very apologetic for daring insinuate that she was in any way improper.
Right. But yeah, you ended up finding that there was some prisoners upstairs in the tower that Valindra was keeping there against their will. And, well, it turned out at the end of last episode that she revealed herself to be a lich. And this is bad news for the party because they've kind of upset her at this point, and their usefulness may very well be at an end. So that's where we're going to begin today's game, with that combat starting off, and of course we'll meet Solomon Gishtar, trapped away in the tower along with some other prisoners. But before we do that, we're going to go to our first Tomb Insight section of the day. We'll set out what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the show. You guys will totally be fine. You guys take 5 minutes, get ready, get yourselves all pepped up and whatnot, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes' time. We'll go away to our secret DM cave. Good luck, players, and goodbye for now. Alright then. So let's just mute those guys. And we are here, back again, in our secret DM cave, in the Tomb Insight section. How are you all doing? If you guys have any questions about today's show, feel free to file them in chat now whilst I go and rant off and talk for a little bit, and I'll get to your questions after I finish my monologue. Thank you very much. But yes, today we're going to be talking about a couple of things. The first of which is voice acting. I mean, that's the topic for this week's show, basically. A lot of people come to us and they say, how do you do voices? How do you do accents? Should we do bad accents? Should I not bother? Should I just carry on and just do my my normal voice all the time? And so that's what today's episode is going to be about. We get a question a lot. We do polls on Twitter asking people what they would like us to talk about this week. And voice acting and voices in general is what came up. So I don't profess to be a voice actor. I am not any kind of voice actor. I do a couple of voices though. I do a Scottish accent, I do a little bit of Irish. I've done some different tones and different, evil characters. You've got to have an evil villain voice, for instance. But yeah, I am no professional voice actor, so bear that in mind. I'm just a guy who does silly voices on the internet. So, the first topic that we're going to talk about is voices. Are they needed? Is it necessary for you to do any kind of voice acting at your table with your game? Maybe you struggle with it. Maybe you're confident doing a couple of voices and accents. But is it necessary? Is the first question we'll ask. And we'll talk about what they can bring to the table versus not. We'll talk about pros and cons of that. The second topic of the evening is going to be the importance of being earnest. Bad accents are the best. Yeah, we're going to talk about just butchering accents and just going for it and having the confidence to do bad voices, whether or not they're great, whether or not they're perfect or not, and just having the confidence to go out there and really sell a voice, which can be that's half the battle in my opinion. The third and final bit is going to be the most involved, I guess, complex bit, which is going to be learning accents teaching yourself new voices and using tone and pacing, among some other techniques as well, in order to fully recreate an interesting and memorable character. So we'll start off with voices. Are they needed? What can they bring to the table? Well, as you might suspect, seeing as we are going for 3 hours and we're going to be talking about this topic for a fair amount, I'm going to suggest that they're not needed, but there are certainly a lot that we can do with them. Surprisingly enough, my answer is, are they needed? No, of course they're not. No, but they're not needed. You know, a lot of people come to me and they say, you know, well, I don't feel confident doing a lot of voices. I want to, but I don't really know how to. Do I need to at my table? Is this something which is necessary when playing Tomb of Annihilation? You know, do I need to voice Asarak a certain way? Do I need to voice Valindra Shadowmantle a certain way? Is that important? And the basic answer is no. I mean, you don't need to do anything with D&D, you know. A lot of the techniques and the things that great Dungeon Masters do that I watch and have played with are specific to their games. You know, not everyone is a world-class voice actor. In fact, most people are not, you know. But I played with plenty of DMs who don't do a lot of voices in their games, but can manage to pull off unique tones to different characters so that they are distinct and memorable, even though they're not doing a perfect Scottish accent or a perfect German accent or whatever. Because, you know, that's just normal people do. A couple of voices, maybe. What can they bring to the table, though? If you are thinking, you know, I'd like to bring in an extra element to a game, you know, you want to create a memorable villain. I love a villain with a memorable voice. Or perhaps a favorite NPC has a particular voice that you want to use. What can it bring to the table? Well, I think, first of all, it brings a certain level of immersion to a game. Part of Dungeons & Dragons, for me, is about imagining a world, and that can be via descriptions that the Dungeon Master brings, that the players bring to the table. And as well, you know, the ambient sounds that you use can really help to bring in that. And on the same level, the voices that characters use and have makes a game feel more immersive to me. For instance, if one were to play, I commonly go to a video game analogy for people who maybe aren't familiar with playing D&D. But if you can imagine a world like Morrowind or Skyrim, which is all voice acted by one guy with the same voice or one girl with the same voice, quickly it's not always the most immersive thing. Or sometimes in games you realize that the same actor is doing the same voice and you're like, that's that guy I met before. So I think it brings a level of immersion to the table that can be fun. And most importantly, I think voices are fun. You know, I love hearing people doing voices. I love doing voices. It's so much fun. And I think that element of whether or not you're doing a perfect voice, perfect accent or whatever, is just an interesting element to bring to the table and just can be fun for you and your party. So that's my thoughts on why bother doing voices, you know. What can they bring? So yeah, I think a level of immersion, a level of fun, and an extra element to your game that can be added, you know, and why not try it? That's my philosophy, you know. Like, you may not be good at it, but why not try it? And that's what we're talking about in our second one. It's the importance of just trying, basically. And if you want to do voices, then just going all in. I'll look at the chat real quick, see if you guys have got any questions. We'll talk about the techniques in the third bit here. That sounds great, Axis. Alright, we'll talk about what the players think later on. We'll go into a bit of actual play. We'll go in and we'll have a good time with our Lichy friend. Alright, and let's go back to our players for their execution. I mean, encounter. That's the word I was looking for. Welcome back, guys.
It's been fun.
Right? Welcome back, guys. So, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into our adventure. You guys are in the heart of Obtau, which is the floating tower 100 feet above the earth, which Valindra, the elven lich, now that we know, has inhabited. You guys are in a dark chamber at the moment, stone floors, there's some closets around, there's some bookshelves with her works and studies on them, and there are two doors behind you as well. Behind her, rather. And of course the door behind you, which you guys entered from. But you will remember that you were teleported up there. There is no immediate way down. The teleportation circle, which she created before for you guys, has at this point vanished after the 6 seconds, and is no longer there. Now, Valindra herself You were thinking she was, a rare beauty for an elf. Golden locks of hair falling down around her shoulders, a dark cloak to cover herself and keep her warm up here, and a pretty angular face, pretty elven face. However, she has kind of torn back the veil, the disguise over her face, and shows you this gnarled and old skin, which has been worn away, weathered by years of decay. She looks just like your old friend with the death curse back from Neverwinter, and she has these kind of goblets of flesh which are dripping off her face. It's almost like her face is melting wax, kind of dripping down there. And Bartleby has sent his raven up to the little tower, and has seen that there are... is it an owl? I forget. Either an owl or a raven.
It's a raven.
It's a raven.
No, it's a raven.
Okay, cool.
His name is Reginald.
Reginald the Raven, of
This is
course.
fine.
You
Reginald
sent a
Raven.
raven up, and you spotted that there are some prisoners up in the tower who are kind of locked, chained, and they look to be in a pretty rough condition, as there are several zombies who are trying to kind of shut them up, just muffle them as they were kind of screaming before. And Valindra has kind of ripped back that tear and said, I'm afraid I am a lich. And as she cackles evilly, as every good Bond villain should, we're going to roll our initiative to begin this. We bear combat here. There we go. So, if you guys can roll me initiative, I will begin to put the initiative order together.
That's Fulton on a 17.
Fulton on 17, copy that.
Reverie on a 20.
Reverie on 20.
Oh.
Oh, that's not a good noise.
What do we want to do about Desira?
We will not count to zero in this fight.
Okay.
We
Oh,
have
no.
another party member. We got Solomon with us today, and
If we survive that long.
yeah, you'll be fine. That was Bert on a 14.
14, indeed.
Not bad.
Not
for
too
Bert,
bad.
Not bad for Bert.
Don't make it seem so rubbish.
Well, you've had some rolls in the past. Solomon, what was your initiative order, my friend?
Oh, you want me to roll? Okay, cool.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, sorry. I will also roll for some of our friends. Oh, okay. Valindra goes on a 5.
Eep.
She, that undeadness is slowing her down a little bit. And a 20 for Solomon. Alright, interesting. And I think that Solomon's dexterity bonus is lower than Reverie's.
+4.
+4. What's
Oh.
yours? Oh, yeah, he actually goes first.
Yeah. That's 3.
Solomon is nice and dexy. Fulton on 17, Bert on a 14, Belinda on a 5, and we're going to roll for the zombies here. On a 13. Okay. So, our turn order is looking a little bit like this. We have Solomon going first, we have Reverie going after that, we then have Fulton Stump, followed by Bert, the zombies, and finally, Valindra. Now, a couple of things to note is that at the beginning of this turn, you guys will see from the closets and from the back doors that 2 of these gorillan zombies burst out. They are the 4-armed undead silverback apes who are bust through, and with a they are coming at you guys. They won't get to act straight away, of course, but they burst through these doors, 2 of them. And upstairs, Solomon is in captivity with a human man with a silver ring on his finger. And a lizard folk. You think he's a lizard folk? He's not entirely sure. He looks kind of like dragon-like as well. Character who's only been speaking in clicks. So for a brief bit of background, Solomon has been captured here. He's only been here for a few hours. Valindra has not yet gotten around to fully torturing you, and so you haven't really gotten to know the 2 companions very well. Across from you, as they've been kind of drugged in and out of consciousness and the like. And there are 3 normal zombies that are upstairs with Solomon and the 2 companions. So, we're going to begin with Solomon. So first of all, Solomon, describe to us what you look like.
Solomon is a bit of a whirling dervish from Zakara. So he has darker skin, kind of brown eyes, dark hair. He's only about 5'5", but he makes up for that with personality. And so he wears kind of loose-fitting kind of silks and multicolored clothing. I mean, it's very, very, very brash, very garish, but doesn't really wear armor. He does have armor in his pack, but doesn't really need it. And so, he, he's been looking for a way out of this since he was captured, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, luckily for you, we're going to say that you've been working away at your bonds for some time. They are magically kind of locked. Presumably, she has placed some kind of enchantment, or she has some kind of concentration spell which keeps them going. And as she dives into combat, her concentration is going to be broken, which doesn't mean that they unlock, but it means that you have a chance against just like, raw steel, which is holding you down.
Alrighty. I will attempt to break my bonds.
All right. Are you going to kind of pick the lock, or are you going to try and just like bust them open?
He is slight, but he has been taught more than a few ways of using that slight strength by people on his many adventures. So he's actually going to try to bust out of here.
All right.
With raw strength. I don't know how well it's going to. Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a 10 strength and a +6 to athletics.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you just you burst out this thing with strength out from the bonds, and the three zombies kind of look around towards you. The human man who's also been captured says, "Quick, get me out of here! I can help."
Okay. Then I will try to. I'm gonna first try to assist that guy because I don't have any of my gear, I assume.
Right. Yeah. Your gear is basically on the table in a corner at the moment. They've just kind of thrown it away. All right. You can take the the aid action, and this guy will try and bust his way free in a few moments' time.
Okay.
Reverie back downstairs with the Lich, Fulton Stump, and Bertleby Baxter. What would you like to do?
I would like to attack this Lich lady with my rapier.
I approve.
Thanks.
He does not, though.
Oh, no. And then I have advantage because she hasn't taken a turn yet.
Yep.
Boom. 23.
23.
Ooh.
Let me find her AC. 23 is a hit.
Yeah.
Let's wait for that. Not a hit.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
There's that. 13 plus my sneak attack
Okay.
because I have advantage. So 13 plus 15 is at 28.
13 plus 15 sounds like 28. Yeah, you're right.
28 damage.
Alrighty. Yeah,
Okay.
she looks a little bit. She looks a little bit upset at you with that.
Oh my god.
You
She
know,
looks like you gave her unsweet tea when she ordered sweet.
I asked for
that's-
sweet tea.
Oh,
I received none.
It is.
She's lovely. She's even calling you sweetie. Why are we fighting this woman? She's adorable.
Yeah, she's certainly got. If you're into the undead, she's certainly got a couple of things, going there for her. It doesn't look as though your attack was quite as effective as you might have liked it to have been, Reverie.
Oh, why?
Good question. Let's see. That is Reverie's turn. Does she want to move or do anything else, Reverie?
I guess I could probably use my cunning action to dash so she can't so I'm not next to her. I feel
Okay.
like that's not fun.
Yeah, okay, yeah. She looks like she asked for Pepsi and got Coke.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go back to the kitchen.
Fulton, it is your turn, my friend. You are muted.
Fulton just kind of yells out because him being grave domain sees this just affront to the natural process of death and life and nature, and just yells out to Reverie and Bartleby, "Run!" and cast Sanctuary on Reverie, assuming that Bartleby's got magical ways to get the heck out of Dodge. So he does cast Sanctuary as a bonus action onto Reverie, and he takes the dash action out the door, and there's only stairs up is the only thing to do, right?
Yep.
So yeah, he is getting up the stairs. Knowing that we're just with those two gorilla things and the Lich, we are in a horrible spot that we need to just somehow try to find a way to barricade ourselves and get better, get the high ground.
Yep. All right. So you rush up there. Coward, she says as you flee upwards towards the tower, and Solomon can hear hurried footsteps rushing up the staircase towards him and his newfound companions. But Bartleby Baxter, it is your turn. You've watched Reverie slice at this girl. She gives a pretty unfazed look as Reverie dashes back away. Fulton runs up the staircase, and it's you, Valindra Shadowmantle the Lich, and two gorilla and zombies in a room together.
Good.
Sounds like a start of a joke.
Exactly as you planned it.
Yeah.
This is.
You have good
now
friends.
I have you exactly where I want you, Valindra. He says.
Alone and surrounded by your friends. Yeah.
Love when a plan comes together. So he's going to. He looks at Valindra, and sort of when she unveils her mask, he's, "Oh my goodness, you are just. We spoke and as he's sort of flailing around, he sort of falls backwards, and as he does, he sort of reaches out to try and grasping at the air, and something shoots out of his hand, zips just past her, and explodes and detonates just behind her as I am fireballing her because liches be crazy. So
right.
I would like, if
that
you
hot
may, please, to give me a dexterity saving throw, DC 16.
Okay, so Valindra rolled a 15.
Fantastic. Okay.
Although, does she have, let's see, any legendary resistance?
Resistance.
Yeah, she'll spend her legendary resistance to save that one.
And
okay.
I will, and
Okay.
I will be that guy, and I will divination cleric that into a 7.
Okay.
Because
I don't think there's a roll.
Oh, is it? Is it a
It's not a roll.
Legendary,
ability.
Legendary resistance reads, if the Lich fails the saving throw, it can choose to succeed instead. Yeah.
See.
If it
Okay,
reads, it gets a gets a 20 instead of something. That would have been fine. Unluckily for you, basically what happens is her legendary resistance comes in the form of basically a dispel. She holds up like a kind of magical shield behind herself, and the flames are barred from her. However, I will roll for the gorilla and zombies behind, who have a -3 to their dex, and both of them fail.
Nice.
Okay. That'll be 23 fire damage. I'm gonna add 2 to it for no reason. Just hope.
just make up numbers.
I'm gonna make up my own damage. And Baxter looks sort of absolutely startled and is just going to scramble as fast as he can towards the steps, which I will inform you guys is not the quickest. He's not the fastest. Not entirely the fastest.
Luckily for you, these steps aren't greased this time around, so you can run up them, and it's not like a Scooby-Doo movie here. Okay, cool. So that is Bert's turn. It'll now be Lieutenant of Zombies. So there are 3 of them upstairs, and there are the 2 gorilla ones downstairs. Valindra sends a kind of finger forth up pointing towards the staircase. Go forth. And the 2 kind of they begin to just kind of beat their chests together with their forearms, and then rush up behind Bert. At this point, one of them will be able to reach you. They move fairly swiftly. One of them's behind you. They have a pretty bad... bonus action. It moves its speed towards a hostile creature it can see. It makes 5 attacks with its multi-attack. 1 bite and 4 claws.
Jeez.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay.
14.
Well,
Shield. Shield.
Shield up. Shields up.
Shields.
All right.
So hard. Please.
All right. So 14 is gonna miss then with your shield up. Its claws rolls a +6, 14, 15, 12, and 13. Wow. 1, 2, 3.
All
4,
of
5.
them miss.
Oh my god!
Nice. This
Or hit
thing.
your shield. Wow.
Yeah, this thing just
But
like
Bert
batters
just
against your
holds his hands
shield.
up, just like, no,
It's just like
bad.
on your shield, bashing away at it, but to no avail. The 3 zombies upstairs, however, are going to give our good friend Solomon a bit of a rough time. And let's see what these guys are. Oh, these guys are pretty weak. So, a 6 versus your armor class, Solomon.
Yes. Right now my AC is 14.
Oh, good. The second one will try and leap towards you on a 5. And the third one, as they go for a zerging formation, rolls a 7. So that's pretty abysmal rolls right there. They end up just kind of like, massaging you lightly with their undead hands.
Yeah.
Ruffling your hair.
Yeah, below the shoulder blade, please.
Yeah. It's a little bit lower.
Yeah.
All right.
You've got to go lower.
Lower.
So, just another day in the zombie parlor, I guess. So, it takes it to Valindra's turn.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, Valindra's gonna have a good time. She's gonna have a good time. So many things to do when you're a lich. You got a choice. She will.
It's just there's,
I mean,
She will just erase you from this campaign.
that whole whatever level, I don't know, 18-ish, 20-ish caster thing.
She just casts tear on your character.
On you.
Yeah, yes.
All right, let's see what she got. All right, so she will open up a shimmering blue portal just in front of her, and upstairs she appears out of another blue portal. That I believe is her action. Let me double check on that one.
As a reaction, can we call hacks?
Mad hacks. It does take an action to do that. Okay.
Damn.
But why not? She could do a legendary.
Oh, no.
She will attempt to reach towards the man on the ground with the ring on. Because there's reasons to do it. In fact, no, she's not going to do that. She's within 20 feet of all of you. Everybody roll me a Constitution saving throw. Who's upstairs?
I was going to say, I'm like literally taking my ring off as I speak, just like, not me.
No. And the man with the ring, please step forward.
Oh no.
Constitution saving.
Nice.
18 for Fulton.
Using meta magic, she casts tear on your character sheet. That's very good.
I would like to pass this. I'm going to... I say pass this optimistically. I'm going to turn my roll into a 13 with a +3. That's up to 16.
I got a 7.
7?
Oh no.
That's
Yeah.
bad. 21 from Solomon. Okay. So Solomon and Fulton pass this. You guys will only take half.
Of how much?
Of 25
I'm
necrotic.
in trouble, guys. I'm in a lot of trouble.
Bad day for you. All right. So
So you're calling that 12?
you call it
Made some
12.
mistakes.
Oh my god.
Reverie, what were you
My
looking like?
God.
Looking pretty rough over
Yeah.
there? Only half death, yes. All right. So you guys enter into this room. You see that on the floor of this place. I mean, the portal is still open, which is the one good thing. And you did know that back down in her study there were teleportation circles which were drawn. They weren't active, but they were in place. So she does that. That is her turn. Pretty good turn, Valindra. Thanks, man. Top of round 2, Solomon. It is your turn.
Okay, so how far away is that table with all of my stuff on it?
10 feet away, you would take some attacks of opportunity moving past the zombies. We are going to say, however, that the man has freed himself at this point of the ring, and he has also freed the dragon-like creature next to him.
Okay. Well, in that case, would you allow me to punch someone with a blade flourish, even though I don't have my weapon with me?
I would. You know what? I would. It sounds good.
Well, I'm gonna punch one of these zombies in the face using a blade flourish.
It's more like a fist flourish.
Yeah, more of a yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be.
Fine.
Sorry, I'm having to type all this crap.
I
against,
encourage violence.
On all levels, yes.
Punching's good, you know.
All right.
Okay, so that's a 21 to hit him in the
damn.
face. And
In the face.
In the face.
so it's just gonna be 5 damage, I guess. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So it's literally 1 damage. But the only reason I'm doing that is so I can get the D8 to my AC.
Ooh, okay.
Now we see.
So I don't.
Look at you being like a smart player and stuff. Way to know your class.
What's that all about?
Yeah.
You know, in this game you're supposed to, like poke the lich.
So my AC is 20 in order to move over to the to my gear, and also it adds 10 feet of movement. So 10 feet over to the door, and there's a portal open right now.
There is a portal that she just came through. You could go back down that.
Yeah. So I have 40 feet of movement total. So I'm gonna run and grab my stuff, drawing my sword as I move towards the portal, and just yell out like, "Run to the portal! It's open! You can get out!"
All right. You jump through the portal, Solomon, and you'll find yourself downstairs in a room you haven't been in before. There are 2 gorilla zombies that have just run up the staircase past you, so they haven't actually spotted you as you're down here. And you'll find yourself in this chamber. There are inactive teleportation circles on the ground, a bunch of books of study, and looks like a couple of books and scrolls and the like around a table as well. So that is Solomon's turn. He does that. Reverie, it's your turn.
Okay. So how far away am I from the portal?
At this point, you're 20 feet away. It's possible Valindra might try to have a swipe at you if you went past.
Yeah, I can't afford that. I really can't, but I don't know.
You can do the disengage stuff, right? Because you are a rogue.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. So I could I'll use my cutting action to disengage, and I will run.
Okay.
Anyway.
So as you kind of flee past her, she tries to swipe, but she can't. And as you rush past her, you can't keep running.
I can try.
You will die. Fulton, it's your turn. Reverie, you appear next to Solomon as well.
Hello.
So I know we were within 20 feet of her. Are the zombies, her, and the zombie gorillans all within 30 feet of me?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm gonna channel divinity, turn undead. So Fulton grabs his symbol of Sethanane and begins to channel her spirit and just says, "Oh, I've got to do it. You shall not pass," and slams his spear into the floor. To see, they all need to make wisdom saving throws. If anyone's under a 1/2 challenge rating, they are destroyed.
Let me see. Are any of these
Hopefully
things
the zombies.
1/2 challenge rating? I'm pretty sure these ones are. Yeah, the zombies are destroyed. Must make wisdom saving throw, creature save throw, 10 for 1 minute total, takes any damage. Okay, so the gorillans will roll. Their wisdom, they are not the wisest of beings, but they do have a +1. 1 fails, 2nd fails. Wow, those guys rolled pretty bad today. They just start whimpering away and running down the staircase in fear away from you. Valindra, I'm pretty sure she's got a good wisdom. Does have a couple of legendary resistances in the bank
As well, but
in fact, it's only +2. Rolled a 6, so she'll spend a legendary resistance to not worry about that.
okay. So that's 2 legendaries down. That's good to know. Revelry's downstairs. Is downstairs within 60 feet of me.
Yeah.
So then, as my bonus action, then I'm going to cast Mass Healing Word to try to help out my party members who got hit by that horrible thing. And you just see this sort of explosion of green energy come out of Fulton as his natural magic and his way to be in touch with the grave and sort of the doorway between life and death. He just says, "You will not pass through the doors today, my friends," and gets 7 healing to everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh.
I don't know you, but I'll take it.
Usually, I'm quite particular of who.
Yeah,
who
about my healing, about who gives me
You need to,
health back. But
you need to take me to dinner first.
Yeah.
I'll make an exception.
And is Valindra between me and the teleportation?
Yeah, she's standing in front of it, so you would take attacks.
But I still have a clear path back down the stairs, right?
Sure.
So with that, Fulton's going to do the, having just arrived upstairs, going to be like, nope. And
You're like running track right now, you know? Like
Yeah.
you run up. Ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
ding,
his
ding, ding,
8 foot
yeah.
tall Furlbog frame thumping that back down the stairs. Nope.
Beautiful
nope,
stuff,
nope.
beautiful stuff. So you flee back upwards and then flee back downwards through the empty staircase. And Valindra is very annoyed at you in particular, Fulton, for destroying
I assume so.
my minions. But it is your turn. You find yourself in a similar situation to one that you were in just a few moments ago. She smiles.
Oh, something fell off when you smiled. You should look just there. Look, I wouldn't lie.
Why don't
I
you
wouldn't-
come pick it up for me?
You know what? Because honestly, no, I have nothing. Oh, I do have this. And suddenly he just, but very, very gingerly, sort of, he seems to hop without actually hopping, and now he's sort of floating in the air, and he's just like, oh, this is hard. How do we? Where's the control? How? It's all the controls are inverted. No, and then he fires down the stairs as he casts fly on himself, and he out of here.
He's flying down the spiral staircase.
Yep. It's just.
I'm flying.
Fulton, she's
without
angry. Bye.
wings. This beautiful montage moment of Bert just flying down the staircase happens.
Who
Yeah,
has inverted controls? I don't like it.
beautiful stuff.
If you were expecting a heroic battle between the Lich and the party,
No,
you've turned
It's just like a Scooby-Doo chase scene at the moment, running up and down stairs away from it. You'll come back a minute, she'll be running away from you.
Yeah.
So that is Zombie 7. They don't really get a turn anymore because they are essentially out of the fight, either destroyed or running away for the next minute, which is 10 rounds, and we're not going to get to that most likely. These guys are
You'll
long,
be dead long before then.
long gone by then. However, the human and the dragon man are going to try and rush past her. Let's see. He's got any tricks up his sleeve? Okay. So this is gonna be bad for him. 20 plus.
Wait for you to just say, nope, he's wearing a vest. Oh.
He's wearing a
Damn it.
vest.
No sleeves.
She misses on her touch. And he just manages to dodge out of the way and appears next to you guys in a teleportation kind of inactive circles on the ground. This man, bearded, long kind of foppish hair, and like an adventurer's gear outfit, along with his companion, who he's like holding hands with, by the way. Let us jump through the teleportation circle together. His companion is this dragon-like lizard folk type person. It's definitely not a lizard folk for sure though. Maybe some kind of subspecies that you guys aren't familiar with. It's much more scaled and it has the kind of iconic draconic head, similar to a dragonborn, but kind of a mixed maybe between a dragonborn and a lizard folk. They both jump through and he is going to use his action to begin to cast a ice storm using
sexy.
the ring on his finger. And he says, "Quick, activate the portals. We need to get the hell out of here." And as he does that, this kind of whipping of snow and ice begins to just kind of charge all around you guys, and you feel the temperature drop by like 20 degrees in the room. That's Celsius, so like it's like below freezing at this point, and everything has gone very, very frosty in here. And you hear from upstairs like from the Lich upstairs. She is clearly in pain. However, the storm doesn't seem to be affecting you guys in terms of damage, but it's he clearly has a great deal of control over this. So that is going to be his turn. However, Valindra is going to get her go.
Of course she is.
Valindra is going to get her go, and she'll step through her portal, appear next to you guys. And I better check something.
That's right. She can use that portal again too now, can't she?
Right. Let's see. In fact, she'll have to see if her concentration breaks. To see if that's still up. It is. It is still up. Let me see. There we go. 100 and okie dokie.
Oh no.
100 and that's just
Don't worry,
scary.
don't worry.
100 d20 damage.
Why not? Why not?
Because you want us to succeed and continue to play your game.
When was that ever said? I don't remember that conversation. She is going to choose a target. Who shall we choose?
Oh no.
It's going to be Fulton. She's pretty annoyed at Fulton for destroying her.
No. Here
undead.
it goes. It's nice knowing you.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw. She points a finger at you.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry.
That's alright. It is a worthy moment to occur.
An 8.
Okay, hold on.
You got anything up your sleeve?
Is there a diviner in the house?
Right?
Right. Oh, I don't even know how difficult this is going to be, but I'm going to try it. I am going to try and counterspell.
Oh.
I have no idea what the DC on this is going to be. But it'll be fine.
Let's see,
fine.
level...
So...
Okay, so it's not instantly...
I don't have anything.
Yeah, it's not instantly dispelled, so it's
Okay.
not level 3. If the cast spell 4 or higher, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. It's 10 plus spell's level. Spell level is level 7. Okay, so the DC is 17 that you're looking to beat.
Okay, and spellcasting...
So ability check, so you're an int check, and you need to roll a 17 or higher.
Yeah, she is casting Finger of Death at Fulton's
Oh
stump.
my... No.
Please?
7th level spell. It's really bad.
Oh...
Can we? Oh my god! Is there anything we can do?
This is it. Oh god! Oh, I don't want to click the button.
Click it.
I don't
It's
want to do-
Yes! Holy mackerel. Alright.
The flying gnome! Fear the flying gnome!
So, you guys want to know how much damage Fulton missed?
Yes.
Just for funsies? I want to see how much he missed.
I can't breathe.
He would have taken 60 right there.
Yes!
He would have taken 60 necrotic. And if he was killed by that, he'd been risen as a zombie, permanently under her command.
Yep.
So she just kind of... and seeing, So here's the thing. She does have counterspell herself. She could counterspell Bartleby's counterspell.
no, come on, not on the nat
It's a
20.
nat 20, so I'm gonna let the dice tell a story here. And on a natural 20, she does not decide to counterspell your counterspell.
Somebody clip that.
So sometimes the dice have got to tell the story, and I am not in control. So that is Valindra's turn. It's the top of round 3. Solomon, it's your turn, buddy.
Okay, so we heard someone yell out about some teleportation circles, yes?
Mm-hmm. Looking on the
Okay,
ground, you see the kind of chalk lines as this man is kind of with the winter spells going on, pointed towards him. We need to activate them somehow.
Okay, so if I run over there really quick, can I do a quick Arcana check?
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
to
Hit me
see
with an
how they
Arcana check.
function?
Yeah.
13.
13's not incredible, but this is pretty simple magic. It's a teleportation circle, so the runes are already drawn for you, right? So like you have no idea where this thing is gonna take you. All you know is that it needs a charge of magical energy. So you could just like fire a spell at this thing, and you're pretty sure it's like coals on a fire. You just need to like hit them with some magical fire, and they might light up, and you'll be able to go.
Okay. Can I yell for someone to? How many teleportation circles are there?
There are 2 of them on the ground, but they're large enough for several people to step on.
Okay. Are they within 5 feet of each other?
Sure.
Well, could I activate both of them with a gold flame blade?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh.
So yeah, he'll yell for everyone to get on the circle, and he'll. I know holding your action says that it's a normal attack. Can I do a gold flame blade with my held action?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. Get on the circles. I will activate it.
Nice. With kind of, yeah, you guys will begin to see these circles come alive. All right, Solomon, that's his turn. Reverie. You got a new companion here.
Yeah. Okay.
On the circle.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're running on the circle. I am going on to the circle
All right.
very quickly.
All right. Okay.
We must live now so we can introduce ourselves later.
I like that attitude.
All right. So Reverie steps on the circle. Let's see who is next. I believe it's Fulton Stump. If I'm a turn.
Yep.
Fulton.
Can I basically grab Bartleby and basically do an end run around her to the circle, so we all get there basically at the end of my turn?
Sure. I love that.
So I grab Bartleby, who's floating and who just saved my life, and basically put him under my arm, and I'm doing like full Heisman, run end run to the circle. Yeah, I mean slow motion. Fulton's just like. He saw the door to his own death open up in front of him. He is like, we're out.
Nope. All right, that's pretty good stuff. So Bert.
On Bert's turn, he allows himself to be taken, and he looks at Valindra, and he goes, "No, really, you did actually drop something back there. It's just right on the floor," and he is carried onto the throne. Just
All right.
the most antagonistic of gnomes.
I'm looking at Solomon. Do it. Do it now.
Please.
Do it now.
She is powering up her 9th level spell. At the moment, presumably you'd like to do something at this point. Pruitt? Solomon, you want to use
if
your
everyone
action?
is on the circle, then I will lash across both circles with some fire and see where we end up.
See where you
Anywhere
guys are.
else.
Anywhere but here. So as she charges up, power word kill, and just kind of starts to like chant, you kind of light the ritual circles, and you guys are out of there, and instantaneously your bodies are teleported from this area, and it's a fun thing. You guys.
Into Azarax 2.
All right. Hello there.
Hi, Azarax.
How's it going? Oh, you're not Valindra. Yes, you teleport through and you find yourselves in a dark, cold stone chamber. You do not hear the jungle sounds of Cholt around you. It's a fairly plain room that you're in. Circular, high ceiling, and there are red tapestries being draped from windows down. They're pretty large. I mean, like the ceiling's like 100 feet, so the drapes are pretty huge as well. There is a door which lies closed at the moment, and there is presumably something beyond that. But other than that, no one else is in here. There are no books, there are no items or pieces of furniture around here. The gentleman with the ring has come through with you, the human, along with his companion, the dragon-like being as well. And he will pick himself up and kind of dust himself off and say, I owe all of you a, well, I think I owe you thousands of pieces of gold, to be honest. I owe you my life. Let me introduce myself. My name is Artus Simba. This here is my companion, Dragonbait. And Dragonbait does a kind of respectful bow and does a kind of series of clicks. And Artus says, he says thank you.
Nice.
Thank you as well, friend, for holding her back. And he looks to Bartleby and goes, I saw the doorway to my death open and you slammed it shut. I thank you, my friend. And is he still looking horrible? Because isn't he like on death's door himself?
No, I'm okay. To be, yeah, Bartleby has a lot of hit points because he has no AC.
Gotcha.
Yes, that was Never again. This is a dramatic improvement. I like this. Walls and solid walls. So, wait, Artus, Simba, and
Dragonbait, yeah.
Okay. So, what exactly were you doing there? Because we were there because we had this idea that she was actually going to be a wizard of sort of repute, and it turns out that she is a complete and utter lich.
You're not wrong there. I've been here for a while, trapped and captured, and your friend here as well. I looks towards Solomon, who was captured recently as well. She wants information on the Soulmonger. You know, I've been looking, well, not for it, but I've been round in the area traveling, you know. So I think that she thought that we might know something about her.
Hold on. So, I just assumed that all that talk earlier on when she said about looking for the Soulmonger, I thought that was all sort of a red herring. I just assumed that...
No, she wants that bad, mate. She wants that for her own purposes. I mean, consider this, if the Soulmonger had a owner as powerful as Valindra, can you imagine how much worse this whole thing would get?
Well, you see, this is my problem. I thought she was the owner when she revealed herself. So that rather begs the question. I don't want to be that guy, but who does own the Soulmonger, and why are there maybe two of these individuals? Because I mean that I don't think I could do that again. I don't. It's just not on the cards, really. It's against all the odds. So
it was a close run thing there, but I don't know. All I know is that she was asking about information on the Soulmonger, and well, I believe she's working for someone, because she seemed to have a lot of friends coming and going via these teleportation circles. I could hear them speaking.
What kind of language did they speak?
I believe mostly common, but I was drugged, unconscious, knocked out a lot of the time.
Right. Sorry, Fulton, I interrupted you.
Well, if her friends came through the teleports, does that mean that we're now in someone that is her friend's residence as well, potentially?
I think so.
Fulton looks very nervous.
This was all a very stressful evening. I'm not really sure if I can handle encountering anyone else. And also, Bert, why am I here as your bodyguard if you're capable of what you did back there? I know you could do that before.
I'm not even sure I knew I could do that. I just had the idea that, you know what, someone had to do something, and it always takes a young and brave, ambitious, good-looking chap to step up to the mark at the right moment. I've read about it in stories, and they do a heroic deed, and it always seems to work out just fine for them.
Well, it's a shame
really
that he
don't think
wasn't
that
there, and you could take up the slack.
I don't think that right now is the time to give yourself a motivational pep talk.
Might we have some introductions?
I was going to say, my friend, we owe you for activating the circles. How did you get here? And what is your purpose?
Oh, it was nothing. I am Solomon Gishtar. I am known in the lands I am from, of Zakara. I go on many adventures, trying to find relics, old and new. And I am here to find the Soulmonger. I sought it out, went to Valindra, because I had heard she had information. She did not. She had manacles. So.
And zombies.
And
zombie
zombies.
gorillas. Ugh.
Indeed.
Yeah, it seems we have a very similar story then.
But yes, Solomon Gishtar knows one or two things about one or two things, and I do not think we are safe here.
Just as she went from up to down, couldn't she just be coming through right behind us as well?
Artis says, it's likely the power which we all use to get through here is sort of inactive for a while, but it's only a matter of time. We could try destroying these circles.
I think that would be the best idea.
Yes.
I am going to take, I presume, is it carved into the floor?
Yes.
I take my jug and I begin to pour acid over the teleportation circle.
Yeah, it will
Utility
burn
wizard.
You sure you don't want to go with the mayonnaise?
Yeah, I just rub mayonnaise all over
That'll
Village.
do it.
Sure, I hate that because then by the time she gets through, the mayonnaise will have been out and the egg will have gone funny. And
She's more of a ketchup
smell.
girl anyway, so
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Okay, yeah, you can burn through the kind of stone floor here with some powerful acid.
And he sort of like finishes pouring it over, just like covering his face, and it should stop her for actually I don't think that will stop her at all. She's rather persistent. So where exactly are we?
Well, I guess it seems there's only one way to find out, and that's to explore it.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Well, where else are we supposed to go?
I'm hoping someone else is going to come up with a much better idea in a moment, like a map or something. You can't expect us to go out there.
Well, you have to go see the thing before you can map it, do you not?
Great.
I like your attitude.
Then
Well,
why don't you work for him?
Oh, well, he has not offered me enough money yet.
I do think it might be a good idea to rest or something before I and she like lifts up her arm and shows like a gash kind of like on her side. And she's like, I may have been a little bit stung.
Yes.
Do we think we have time to take a moment here, or should we find someplace a bit more secure? This is quite open hall here. Maybe a smaller room that could be defended more easily.
And one that does not have magical means of entrance.
Yes.
If you cannot hear the prey approaching, how can you avoid it?
This is true.
So are there any doors?
There is one door leading outwards, which is currently closed.
Reverie, can you survive the trek to find a safer place, or I can heal you some now as well if you are concerned.
I could try.
With that, he heals her.
Thanks.
So yeah, I'll do a level 1 cure wounds. Wow, that's 10 healing.
Ooh, thank you. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
It's better to be safe than sorry in this accursed place.
I think you are absolutely right. I need to get over the refusal to ask for help when I know that I need it.
Yes, this place has things far stronger than us that will lead us to the grave.
So I guess I'll try and like sneak around and see if there's somewhere else that we could go.
So we got a door to get through.
Yeah, we got a door.
Be a rogue. Do your roguey stuff.
I'll try.
You can roll a like a perception check here.
Okay. Yeah, 10.
So you open up the door a crack and take a look out. You see several dark hallways before you, which are lit. Sorry, by braziers on the side. It looks like you're kind of in a castle. The walls here are a good 100 feet high, so pretty big one. There is this red kind of tapestry everywhere, and you see symbols on the tapestry of what looks to be a kind of diamond-shaped star, and it looks like a series of planets which are kind of ringed in a circle around it, all of which are red. You do not spot anyone here, however you do see there are several doors which are also closed down the hallway as well.
Okay, I'll turn back and say, I didn't see much, but I did see these tapestries everywhere, and they have these weird star planet things on them, and then there's a bunch of doors, but it just looks like more and more doors, as if we're in some sort of big castle or something.
Hearing her say about stars and planets in her description, can I do a religion check to see if, with my knowledge of Sethanane Moonbow, if her celestial signs, that this means anything to me?
Sure, run me a religion check.
That's a 6.
Never seen this one.
Nope.
It's nothing to do with her, for sure.
Yeah.
With my, since I have the archaeology background, and I have historical knowledge, would I know, I basically know how or why a dungeon was made and by who.
Cool.
Is that something that in my many studies and travels, I might see a clue as to where this came from?
Absolutely, yeah. So you get to know who built this?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the ribbon ability is I get to know who and why what it's for, like what.
Okay, what the purpose is. Okay, it's a fortress first of all that you're in, and it was built by the Red Wizards of Fae.
That doesn't.
I have had a run-in with these wizards. They are ruthless, cunning.
Do they often forget to check the closet and other places?
Well, because of their ruthlessness and cunningness, they tend to be absent-minded. Yes, so we could get away. They don't like to clean either.
Fantastic. In which case, they probably don't ever use the closet. We should sleep in a storage cupboard or something. I personally, I fit in quite a small bucket.
Fulton kind of looks awkwardly about the idea of sleeping, seeing as he's 8 feet tall. Sleeping in a closet's not going to be wonderful experience. But at this point, he's up for just about anything.
All right.
So let's see if we can find a room or something that we can maybe bar the door and get some rest in, or... Yeah,
that sounds good to me. Why don't you guys roll me a group stealth check as you head about, looking to go unseen down these dark, seemingly empty corridors.
Oh.
Fulton, being 8 feet tall, isn't the stealthiest people on the planet.
Nat 20!
Hey.
Nat 20. And... 9.
9? And 19. Oh, bad. All right. So overall, it's not like the greatest effort, but it's certainly not the worst. It doesn't seem like there's many people about at this point either, so it makes it a little bit easier for you guys. You ding, 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 tiptoe your guys away around this fortress. And you will find a small, that seems to be a study. It's empty. And there are large closets in here, in which there are a lot of red robes, predominantly red robes. But those closets would be sleepable, and the study itself seems like it would be fairly secluded. Elsewhere, there's a desk on it as well.
Yeah, Solomon will immediately go over to the
ominous way you ended that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solomon will immediately go over to the robes and start looking at them and turn back to the group and be like, this could be our way to avoid any further issues.
I think that could be a good plan.
Red's not really my color. I'm more of a blue. Did I have any blue? Did I have blue wizards?
I thought you looked good when all your robes got stained in the blood. I thought it was right.
That says a lot.
Red will come out one way or another, my friend.
Right. That's a fair counterpoint. Yes, and he will just find like, is there going to be anything that will fit Bartleby?
Yeah, Bartleby and
They have
Fulton
some
probably look at each
young-
other.
This big.
They have some young red wizards. You can probably find one for a slightly smaller one. It's going to still be loose, but
Baby's first red wizard robe. Like, wonderful. It's like the training red wizard, but has stabilizers on the side.
that's
Wonderful.
it. Yeah, it's loose and unfitting, but it is a robe which covers you.
I'm assuming
They
this
have
probably
clothes as
fits Fulton like a mini skirt. So upon realizing that, he basically just says, "When the time comes, I can take care of myself." And actually, you are familiar with it because we used it during the show. He'll use his Furlbog magic to disguise self, but just he only has an hour of it, so he's going to stay in this form until we get to a place where we have to be sneaky.
Nice. Okay, everyone takes a robe to put on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, these have like hoods as well, so you can kind of put it up to hide some of your face. Would you guys
Antlers.
like to take a Would you guys like to take a rest in here of any kind?
Yes.
Yeah, short
Yes.
rest.
Could we like
can we-
maybe put the desk like in front of the door or something?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That might be a good idea. I don't remember.
Sure. Yeah. No, I was thinking I was going to put drive one of my spears into like peg the door.
Oh, that could be easier.
Yeah, the desk looks pretty tough
Yeah.
to move. Spear might
Okay.
be
So
easy.
yeah, I'm literally going to take one of my spears and just drive it into the floor, basically as a pike
Pull the
to
bottom,
if the door opens in. If it opens out, then that doesn't work.
It will work. Yeah, it'll work.
Okay, so I pike.
Aha!
my,
The cunning wizards of Fae have fooled you once again.
Fully in. The door opens out.
with like outwards pulling doors. Scoundrels.
And then yeah, if we can take a short
You
rest, that'd
guys
be great.
are more than welcome to take a short rest in here with Arta, Simba, and Dragonbait as well. We'll take a rest of you guys. They seem to be pretty quiet, keep themselves to themselves.
And with Solomon's Song of Rest, everybody add one more die of healing.
Ooh.
Do any healing. So
That's good. I have one hit die left.
Nice. So you had +1 hit points, yeah?
yep.
Mm-mm-mm.
I will.
Ooh,
Guys
nice.
can heal up here.
Yes. Okay. Feeling good. Oh.
Feeling better, feeling better. Your wounds are somewhat healed and bandaged up. You take a moment to rest and recover from the traumas that you guys have just been through. And you can also take the chance to take a look around this room and investigate the desk area if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay. Don't need to make any rolls for this. Yeah, as you head over towards the desk area, take a look around the papers. Many of them are in Elvish. Some of them are in common, most of them are in common. And you'll read study notes about the Soulmonger. Okay. They have been studying the Soulmonger. They have been studying the Death Curse upon the lands. And they have been using, it seems as though they've been using test subjects as well to experience, to understand and gain experience as to what happens when one is afflicted by the Death Curse, which means these guys might not be the most lovely people that you guys have come across before. They are fairly scientific in their approach, as being, wizards. They seem quite fascinated by the whole thing in itself. But that does not necessarily mean that they are the most kind individuals. It means that meta-wise, I get to tell you guys what the Death Curse really does. So you learn more about what's going on in Chult. So the Soulmonger was activated at this point about 35 days ago. Yeah. You have been traveling for quite a while. It was already 20 days by the time that you guys arrived with Bartleby at the beginning of the campaign. It's been a good 2 weeks since then, so we'll call it 35. So, any humanoid on the planet that's been brought back from the dead begins to waste away. Its hit point maximum will be reduced by 20, one for every day that Soulmonger's been active, so at this point 35. is the amount, and every day it decreases by 1 until the soulmonger is changed somehow, until you do anything else to do that. When the hit point maximum drops to 0, it dies, and it cannot be back. Nothing in this world or another seems to have any kind of ability to halt that process. You cannot restore hit points, your hit point maximum, when you have the death curse. So that's reduced by 35, then 36, by 36. No way to get that back. They also note that other creatures such as wraiths and wights with life-draining effects that are similar to that also do not have an ability to gain back the maximum hit points. So it seems like other deathly creatures are drawing on the power of the soul, the death curse. If a humanoid, this is the thing that they are particularly worried about, if a humanoid dies anywhere on the planet, its soul becomes trapped inside the soulmonger. And what the repercussions of that are, they have no damn idea.
Oh.
So if you can imagine the amount of people that die on this planet of the Forgotten Realms, explorers, adventurers, even just goblins and the like, that die every single day. It's been 35 days since everyone who's been dying and kind of being brought back and then dying again, their souls have become trapped. Which is very bad news. They believe that there's some kind of plot, there must be some intention to this, that a minion or a creature of great power must have some kind of plan with what to do with all of these souls, but the potential destructive power and the imbalance that this will cause amongst the pantheon of gods will be catastrophic. You met the Order of the Gauntlet before. They no longer had access to their gods, and they didn't seem to be able to cast many spells whatsoever. This is likely the effect that the souls are being trapped and there's some kind of disconnect between the gods of this world and your own. Also, spells that breathe life back into the undead, like Revivify, Raise Dead, Resurrection, and so on, they will just fail. They just don't seem to work on these death-cursed creatures. But you can speak with dead still.
Okay, so having read all of this and Bert being a man of science, foremost, he looks very worriedly to Fulton and says, this is most troubling. This is actually, in polite company, I don't have the vocabulary to describe quite how unsettling and bothersome this is. This is terrible. You understand the repercussions of this.
Fulton, being of the grave domain, is actually shaking as this is either he's reading it or as is explained to him, because the full repercussions of the unbalance, basically tipping the scale of life and death, and that whole barrier that he guards over. He watches the doors of death, and he is visibly shaking. It seems a pretty good mix of fear and just fury that someone has done this just abomination to the natural cycle of life and death. And he just looks you straight in the eyes and goes, Yes, I fully understand just how dire this situation is.
For those of you who aren't on the same page, allow me to sort of give you the brief rundown of how, from what I understand, it works. You see, when you pass on from this world, your soul is claimed by something. Some unfortunate souls are demons or things they have created pacts with, mostly warlocks, but most of us will be singled out by a god. Maybe it's a god you showed particular favor with, or maybe it's circumstantial with regards to how you passed from this world. That is more of my colleague here's expertise, but what I will tell you is this. There is something of a huge wall with many doors. And each door leads to a different domain, an afterlife, a heaven, a celestial plane of whoever has claim to your soul. This soulmonger has essentially taken a good hard look at the cues of everyone that has ever died and is waiting to see their afterlife, and has torn the floor out beneath all of them. And unfortunately, well, that has an effect on not just you and I. See, from my understanding, just as we require magic to power, strength, whatever it is to cast our spells, the gods themselves, they require worship, and they require
souls.
Exactly. We are in, well, I hope this isn't blasphemous, but the best way I could describe it is we are a power source. Our souls are a power source from the gods themselves, and if we don't make it to them, the gods will begin to
die.
And now you've said it, that actually is the... Yes. It's actually worse hearing it from someone who is of a faith, such as yourself. That's the first thing that has been said that has truly scared the bejesus out of me.
Well, is there anything in there that says how we're supposed to destroy it or find it at least, or anything?
The Red Wizards of the Fae are some of the most powerful necromantic wizards I have ever had the misfortune of learning of. And while I don't know all of their practices, I promise you this: Fae is something of a hot spot for individuals such as Valindra. And if they don't know how to control this, then we are in beyond that depth. We are in the eye of the storm and what comes next. And he sort of just looks at the floor, sort of crushed by the sheer weight of the task at hand.
I knew there must be some reason that the fates brought me here. This is truly terrible. My patron Nisa back in Zakara is affected by this. The wasting, we called it.
Yes, our patron was similarly affected. Who got us here.
To think I will never see her smiling face, more than likely.
We can't stop thinking like that now. This is a good thing. This is the most information that we've had so far. So now we're on a stronger lead then. It's much further, if you think about it, than we were before. And now we can probably, through some deductive reasoning and things like that, and maybe we can find someone somewhere in this big building that is willing to help us or something. I don't know. But we do know much more than we did before, which is a good thing, right?
If this soulmonger and whoever its creator or owner is gathering every soul that dies, that would mean that they will soon have a power to rival the gods and will surpass them shortly thereafter. We need to make this our unending task, which unfortunately means, I guess this is the end of our rest. We need to move on, and fast.
Agreed. But
Yes.
I must concur.
whoever you are right to be hopeful. I have watched even the smallest seed crack the most mighty boulder with time and effort. Perhaps we are meant to be that seed. A tiny force that somehow overcomes something that is affecting the gods themselves.
Well, I never really thought that was going to be this mission, but this is going to be a hell of a resume when I get back to my guild. I guess that's not really as big of a deal as I thought it was, coming into this, then I feel sort of silly now.
Well, at least you're looking towards the future. Means we still all have one, at least for a time.
All right then. So as you guys kind of get ready to, sorry for interrupting you there. As head off, I'm going to dive into the next Tomb Insights pick, and we'll pick up from what Solomon's about to say there in just a few moments' time. So we'll see you guys, players, in 5 minutes' time. Enjoy, get set, and we'll see you guys in a minute. All right, those guys are on mute. There we go. Alright, so we are going to talk about our second topic of the night. So we're in Tomb Insights number 2. If you guys have questions, do @Encounter Roleplay, and I'll try and get to those at either the end of tonight's session or at the end of this segment here. So, the importance of being earnest, bad accents are the best, yeah. So we've talked a little bit about voices. Are they needed? What can they bring to the table? Are they necessary? And so on. We came to the conclusion that no, they're not necessary, but they are enjoyable and can be a lot of fun and bring a level of immersion to the table. The second point we're going to talk about is we've decided that you want to do some voices, but how to get over doing bad voices, accents, portraying different characters in various different ways. So the number one rule for me is when I'm trying to do a voice, I'm trying to do some kind of accent, is to not care about just how bad it is. You know, a great way to begin is to find a bad celebrity impersonation that you can do and roll from there. A lot of great accents come from that. For instance, I do a really bad Billy Connolly impression, you know, oh, Jimmy Jim 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 Jimmy Jim Jim Jim, and then from there you can get characterizations and characters, you know, like Arthur Simba had kind of Billy Connolly, he's voiced by Billy Connolly, and it's not so much the fact that my accent is like, wow, that's so good, he sounds just like Billy Connolly, because if you put me in a room with Billy Connolly, then I guarantee he sounds completely different than that. But it's the fact that you kind of buy in on your own voice that you're trying to do. So when you are trying to figure out a voice, and a lot of people say, you know, like, I'm really bad at voices, half the battle is just going out there and giving it a go. The confidence which you portray a character really is more than half the battle when it comes to voicing a character and being memorable. The most important thing, I think, is that it is memorable. You know, you're trying to make sure that the voice of a character makes them think of that character. And so even if it's a terrible accent, it's absolutely butchering what may be a real life accent, then it doesn't really matter as long as you're giving it a go, and your players will remember it. Like I say, bad accents are the best. I love a good bad accent. It gives me no end of joy when I hear Americans butchering an English accent. I appreciate most of the time that they're just trying to vocalize their character in a different way and bring a level of immersion to the table. And it's never really immersion breaking for me if the accent is bad. It actually helps. Usually it just helps me to distinguish between when I as a DM or a player speaking and when I'm playing a character. It helps me in my own head. It helps me when I'm talking to other players if they do some kind of voice. And you notice that a lot of the time, we'll talk about this in the third one about how we don't have to do like necessarily accents and voices, but we can just use a lot with the vocal cords that we have already, just tone and pitch and the like. A lot of the time you don't even need to study an accent in order to do it. Right, I'm gonna dive in, see if there are any questions at the moment. Is there an app to find D&D session? Not gonna answer that. There is, there's a bunch of them. I'm sure folks in chat will help you find games. Any idea how to get back to Chult? We'll see. But yeah, half the battle, just dive in with a bad accent, with some kind of voice, with maybe a celebrity impression that you can do, or most people have like one voice that they can do at the very least, or especially for guys, you can just kind of go gruffer and it sounds like you're playing a character, or you can go lighter when you're playing a female character, but we'll get to that, the exact kind of ways that I end up doing different voices in the third section of our Tomb Insights for tonight. Alright, short one because we've got plenty to get to today. We've got a lot of action in this one about to come up. So let's head back to our players. Let's see how these guys are doing over here. Alright, we're back with our players after their short rest and the woeful realizations about what is happening in the world in this campaign. So, what is the plan? I believe Solomon was about to say something as we cut him off there.
Oh, it was just small talk. That's
Oh,
all.
okay. Just
Yeah.
idle banter, no worries.
Yes, idle chit chat.
Yes, yes. Okay. So, what is the plan for the team?
Well, these robes afford us an opportunity to try to sneak out. What say you?
I'm all for sneaking. Always.
I'm not shocked by this.
I am not the stealthiest, but to stay here, I think, is folly. Let us get out, and if we have the opportunity to gain more information, let's take it. But first and foremost, we need to get out of here.
All right, you can pull back the spear and poke your head out. The corridors look fairly clear. And if you'd like to travel, go ahead.
Just before he does, I sort of lean over and say, look, I understand that we're all in a lot of trouble here, but we need a window.
What about a door?
No, a window. We need to know. We have absolutely no idea where we are at the moment. We need to see outside what we're going into. We don't even know if we're in Cholt anymore. That's our number one priority. We need to find which one of these walls is an exterior wall and find a place to stick our head out. And then we need to figure out which direction we want to be escaping in.
Yeah, you're pretty sure you've seen light coming in through the windows on the eastern side.
Yeah,
Right.
because the curtains are actually not just tapestries; they're like curtains over windows. Correct?
Correct.
Oh, okay. In which case, I have grappling hook and climbing gear, can I climb up and see if I can have a look outside?
Yeah, you could give me a roll on that one. It's not the easiest thing to do.
How tall are the windows?
Are they 7 foot high?
Screw you guys. No. The windows, I mean, the walls themselves are 100 feet high, so you're looking at a 60-foot window or something like that. So you've got some climbing to do, but you're a little guy. The tapestries are actually pretty thick. You can do it.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Do you? That's odd. So with a climbing gear, he sort of puts on sort of like straps on his harness and straps it up, and it goes over the red robe, so he just looks entirely embarrassing, ridiculous. But he will begin to go with his climbing, and I get advantage, but it's still just a flat d20, so this ought to be interesting. As
All right.
But Bird Bartleby Baxter ascends nowhere. He rolls a 9 at advantage.
Oh, you'll be fine, man. This is a 60-foot fall. No, I won't be that cruel. You didn't succeed on anything at all. So you try scrambling up the wall. You get like 10 feet, and then you just like stick there. You know, like you're like a bug just like caught 10 feet up, and you're like, I can't go anywhere. Oh
Fulton
god.
basically just reaches up and brings him back down.
Bert looks at him and just says, I may have failed to mention I'm terrified of heights. Absolutely. Wow, it is high. Let's not do that again.
It's like 4 times his height.
That's 5 times my height. That's like, yeah. You guys contemplate that for a moment.
Well, I'll tell you this, Bert. I learned from a climbing master once in the mountains of the Silver Spears, and he told me one thing: never look down, and you get bardic inspiration.
Ooh.
Oh, let's try this one again.
Okay. So what do I get to add?
This one might not be so
1d8.
1d8.
1d8. Okay. This is where I roll a 1.
Yeah, it was flying. Earlier, he's right.
No, this is where you roll a 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
A clutch.
Okay. So I'm a
Perhaps the most important role of the game tonight, whether or not.
A
There it is.
19.
Not far.
Plus, that is a 23. Like
There you go.
inspired. He's just like yeah.
See, this is not so hard.
Yeah, you get
Just
positive
don't look down, don't look
reinforcement
down.
on the way up from Solomon. You climb up to 60 feet, you can cut like a hole in the large red drapes, and you can see out to what appears to be a barren wasteland of dirt. There are mountains in the distance, which have fire spewing from them. You are not anywhere you've been before, and you are not in Cholt. There is no jungle.
would I have potentially read about such a place? May I make a history check to see if I may
I mean,
know?
you can put the pieces together. You
Yeah,
know, you've heard
okay.
They've got Red Wizards of Thay. I mean, of Thay is the big clue there. So you're in a place far to the east.
He sort of very gingerly slides down the tapestry and gets to the bottom and just says, right. So about escaping to Chalk and all that business.
Is there a dinosaur or something up there?
Oh no. Plains of fire and dirt and well, we're in phase now, so I'm starting to believe that might have been one of the worst decisions we've actually made. Is going for that teleportation circle. We're surrounded. We're in their homeland. They're everywhere. There are more undead here than possibly even in Schultz.
Yeah, and that acid did a pretty nice job on the circle.
Remember when I saved your life? Let's not pick at stuff, yes? Because I'm quite irritated right now and pretty terrified. So maybe just cut me a tiny bit of slack as I stop Valindra from coming after us. Sort of, maybe, potentially, probably not.
We would have been dead much sooner. So,
Well,
but if there's one circle in, then maybe there's another one out.
what I know of the Thayan wizards, they do not just have one entrance and one exit. I mean,
Yes.
they would not just have a teleportation circle to Valindra's. They would have their own.
Indeed, that's absolutely correct. Because if I've learned one thing about the Red Wizards of Thay, it's they're absolutely all about health and safety regulations. To have one exit would be a travesty.
Yeah,
So
bureaucratic nightmare.
yeah, oh
The
god,
red tape.
the amount of red
It'd be
tape.
very
I
red tape.
love the red tape.
Did y'all
but-
do that?
Mm-hmm.
The red tape wizards of Thay.
the
Probably
bureaucrats
more
of-
terrifying. Yeah, that's that more terrifying
Yeah, which
sex.
is- Scary.
Even the Red Wizards of Thay fear them.
We'll
Yes.
tie you up for years.
Endless contracts and paperwork. Yes.
Nobody expects the Thayan Inquisition. Sorry.
Bartleby returns to ground level and sort of looks to Fulton and says, look, we might have to run very, very quickly. Would I be able to hitch a ride again?
He just sort of puts him up on the shoulder. Yep.
If anyone asks, it's bring your child to work day. There we go.
And I look at him and it's like, grappling hooks away.
Oh, yes, he takes the full harness off. Yes, that's not a bad shout, actually.
Good idea. All right, if you guys are moving through, let's roll some stealth checks.
Do we get advantage since we're dressed like them?
It won't help you go unnoticed. But if you are going to try
Might
and
help us
deceive someone, then you would get advantage on that.
I'm ready to cast my disguise self at a moment's notice if we bump into anything.
Nat 20!
Hey, a second one. Oh, and then that one.
Run.
Bring it back down
It
again.
out there, doesn't it?
And and by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Mage Armor.
All right, good idea. Okay.
Just because.
I'm also going to do that because I forgot to do that against Valindra. Yay.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like somebody's gonna see you guys and somehow I'm gonna be on the ceiling.
Good spider. Yeah. Unfortunately for you guys, you're heading through these chambers. You hear a voice call out to you. It says, "Who's going there? Stop!" And you turn back and you see 4 wizards dressed in red robes. There's a man who seems to be leading them in about his 60s or so, and he has kind of spotted the group of you. It's possible that Reverie's managed to dive off and hide on her natural 20 though into some kind of nearby cupboard.
Within that one, did I get enough time to get off my disguise self or not?
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah. Never mind.
Father, who are they? Are they your bosses? Are they, Father? Where's the bathroom?
Seems as though there are some intruders and some kind of child.
Yeah. Fulton is looking utterly ridiculous in a red robe that comes down like literally like mini skirt length. He
Just above the
has
knees.
somewhat tried to put up the hood, but it's caught on his antlers. He is the most ridiculous looking furlbog out of the forest you've ever seen.
Yeah. It's of a length above the knee that he would be asked home from school.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be 4 inches at least.
Yeah.
That's always my rule.
Yeah.
Now, now as you see these four wizards come over, they are going to say, "Stop right there. Come with us. Put your weapons down if you know what's good for you." There's
As
a
we all just like,
Bit of a standoff. How it go.
the gentleman, like, he sees, he raises a bushy eyebrow and sees that moment of like readying to maybe fight, maybe we don't. He's just checking he didn't cast silence, and he says, "Listen, come with us. You're clearly not meant to be here. You're clearly not from here. Now, if you want to get home again and have any chance of escaping this place, then you should come with us. Now, I'll ask you only one more time. Put down your weapons and follow us."
Fulton puts his hands up.
Bartleby follows his dad's example.
His dad's example.
Yeah. I guess. I guess
Bartleby's lost in his own role, just like when he was lost in
believes
the
it.
role in the show. He's such a good method actor. He just can't.
Papa, where are we going?
I love that,
Daddy,
like, without
please.
any previous kind of conversation about that, it's Bartleby's go-to. It's like,
Dad, please.
holy moly.
Yeah, Reverie will. I don't know if she actually made it to the ceiling, but she's been like scaling up on a wall in the darkness.
Maybe
Maybe
you could
she,
be on a tapestry. Yeah, they haven't
yeah,
spotted
she
you.
like climbs back down and like lands like a gymnast, right, like right in front of them. And she's like, "Well, then I guess we're going."
Mummy, do we have to go with them?
She looks back and says, "Good God, please don't do that."
Why is your child so old?
You've got your beard that goes all the way down to your
He's
feet,
got no.
dude.
He's not an actor. He doesn't know.
You could have gone for the grandpa like we had to carry, but you went for the child.
It is the son.
You told me Grandpa had to go away. I miss him.
Silence.
Do not worry about this child. It is merely a side effect of the soulmonger. Do not worry.
Yes,
He has
silence.
that disease. You know, you know the one.
You know the
You
one.
know, that thing. I hear it's catching.
He gives you a knowing
He
look.
coughs.
Yeah, he gives you an all too knowing look. Ugh.
That's like a sympathetic look.
Yeah.
That happened to my cousin once.
Good Lord. Don't worry, we have cure disease. We'll he doesn't say that. The group, as you put down your weapons, they will start leading you through these chambers, presumably one of the red wizards will come later to pick up your weapons and the like as they kind of clatter down onto the floor. And these four individuals with staffs and the red robes with the symbol of those kind of stars, moons on them, it looks like, will lead you into for about a 5-minute walk through several of these chambers. You will come to a large door. The door itself has got the same symbols as metal, same symbols of those kind of moons and planets and constellations all over it. And the elderly red wizard says, "You're about to meet Tolksar. I would advise that you hold your tongue and that of your child when speaking with him."
She Reverie looks back at Bartleby and she's like, "Did you hear that, son? No speaking. No speaking. None."
Have I heard of this particular person they're talking about? I make a history
You could roll me a history check, yeah.
Not so good. Got a 13.
Yeah. You have not heard of this guy. It may be that he is not particularly. I mean, the wizards are pretty secretive, as it is. They're not ones to broadcast too loudly all of the plans that are up to. So you haven't heard of this guy in particular. Now, if you will all, any kind of gestures towards the door, you may enter.
Thank you. Come on, son and husband.
Fulton just sort of shakes his head and just wanders in, has to duck under to get through.
And I will follow them.
Oh, are the other two with us? The other two are with us as well, yeah?
Yep, Artis Simba and Dragonbait
yeah.
are also with you. They're keeping their heads down.
Yep.
You enter into the chamber, and before you, on standing at a table, in red robes, you see a terribly thin, wasting with the death curse individual. His skull has receded. The skin on his skull has receded, so you can almost see where like the eyeball attaches itself to, you know, like the kind of brain back there. On one of his eyes is very open and large, and it's got this quite sickly bit of pus which is running down it. Down his face, which he doesn't seem to have noticed, down onto his robes, and is dripping into his goblet at the moment. He doesn't seem to have noticed that. He holds a staff in one withered old hand and speaks with a fairly croaky voice. There is a seat at the table. Come, sit, stay, and we must speak. My name is Tulxa. I see that you have invaded our fortress.
It really was an accident.
We sought refuge from a lich who was attempting to kill us. We did not know where we were going, just that we needed to be away from there.
Yes, indeed. Please take a seat. And, presumably you do.
Yeah.
He remains standing, kind of leaning on the staff quite heavily. I mean, he looks like he really needs the support, the lumbar support of this piece of wood that he's holding. And he says, so, you wish to escape? Yes. We're better than this. We're better than this.
No, we're not.
So much worse
We're
than this.
so not.
So much worse than this.
I was doing so well.
Yes, he
said it.
holds the long, hard piece of wood. Yes.
I was actually being pretty PG with mine because you said he needed the lumbar support.
Yeah,
from
I've-
wooden staff. It's
Yeah.
lumber. Anyway. never mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we were all at Lumber, Will. Where were you?
Yeah, sort of Tour Squirrel.
What
Yeah,
was
of
that
course you
about?
were. And so was Twitch chat. Yeah, we're real
Yeah.
mature here, aren't we?
Yeah, Will, get a grip. Get a grip. Stop giving these kids the shaft. We gotta
Welcome
keep
to
this heat.
20.
Sorry.
All right.
Things are getting out of hand.
Yeah, 4-inch rule. Okay, so he So
You what?
you wish to escape Valindra. What was her problem with you, or your problem with her?
We, much like I think everyone we've met, are trying to solve the mystery of the Soulmonger. I see you have a vested interest
Yes.
as well.
Yes, we seek the Soulmonger and the power which it possesses, above all else. And you see his, like, tongue is, like, you know, rotted away to the point where it makes his speech a little bit difficult. So, what are we to do with you, then? You search for the Soulmonger, so perhaps you can be useful. What is it that you know about it? Know you its location? Know you how to destroy it? Or how to gain purchase over its power?
Unfortunately, that's what we're still trying to figure out. But we are very determined to figure that out, and determination is just as good as knowledge in some cases.
Not in this one, unfortunately for you. So it seems you know nothing of use to us, and we can discard you.
Oh, well, there is something. Sorry, I kind of got wrapped up in that last role. Haven't had a chance to introduce myself. As we're dropping the facade, I do apologize. I hope I don't mean to offend, but red really isn't my color. And he sort of takes off the robes. Baxter Bertleby Bart, at your service, willingly or otherwise. You see, you yourself, good sir, well, I'm not sure if they allow you mirrors, but it would appear that certain members, such as yourself, your most powerful individuals, those most adept at finding such an arcane source of power, wouldn't be best suited to travel at this given time.
Quite. You are insightful, little gnome.
Well, it's no need for flattery. You're already threatening my life. But I appreciate it. It's just, well, you see, you don't have anybody who can really get a foot on the ground. You see, I understand the Red Wizards of Fae are incredibly powerful, and they have a fearsome
What have
reputation.
you done with Valindra?
Valindra, well, very much angered her. Cheesed her right off, I believe, would be the most appropriate term I could give you.
So she still lives?
Yes.
Well, that is
That's a
in a manner of
subjective
speaking.
term.
That's racist. How dare you?
I think what our little friend is trying to say is what we can offer to you is that we're expendable.
What I wanted to point out actually was that you have expendable folk. Unfortunately, your reputation precedes you. Red Wizards of the Fae are known, even in Chult, and unfortunately, there are a lot of individuals who might be able to help you locate the Soulmonger who won't cooperate with you, and unfortunately, a lot of them are locals. So it means that you'll probably have to either try and extract it violently, which is taking up time you don't have, or you need someone who already has an in with them. May I present my friends?
He licks his, dead tongue around
Aww.
his mouth, and his eyeball pops out of its socket, and just dangles down by a thread.
Fulton just is so wanting to just be can I just
pop that back in.
So
We ain't talking until you pop that back in.
yeah, he's just letting it hang, man. It's all hanging out.
Let it all hang out.
It's all let it all out. And Thorxar will say, so you are willing to cooperate with the Red Wizards of Fae?
Well, you see, I got to this ripe old age by knowing when to fight and when to concede. And I most definitely know that I am outmatched here. So,
Yes.
my question to you is, what business do you have with Valindra?
Valindra is a wizard of ours, a contact in Chult. She has been extracting information from certain individuals searching for a soulmonger, although her efforts have not yet proven to lead us to success. Perhaps
Indeed.
you will be more useful to us. And he with a finger, one bony finger, pops the eyeball back into his eye.
So, if I'm understanding this, you sort of have an alliance with Valindra, as sort of an understanding.
She
and
is
I
a
imagine...
wizard of mine. No.
Right.
I
So
own her.
I see. So if you owned her, and I mean you I suppose own us now, would it be safe to assume that in that sort of ownership scheme, you wouldn't like one set of tools to start messing around with another set of tools. Say one set of tools, a hammer, for example, got really angry with like a small china cup that was very fragile and breakable. You wouldn't allow the hammer to just smash it, would you? Because I'm the cup, Valindra is a hammer. To clarify the analogy there.
Right. I think that I can find a use for you, wizard. Yes. Yes, I think I can.
Well, I won't get very far without my bodyguard, you see. And obviously, this one here is the only reason that our party can continue to travel. Otherwise, we end up in your unfortunate state. And unfortunately, we're not as powerful as you, and we won't survive the transformation. This one here is actually a local guide. We have another guide as well, who is an expert in different navigation. Really, you kind of need the whole package.
Do I now?
Well, I mean, you obviously know that already.
You seem incompetent on your own.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, perhaps this band you surround yourselves with will keep you alive until my use with you is done.
I mean, it's been working so far.
Quite. You see, death really isn't the end of the road anymore. Now that you're working with me, or should I say for me, if one is to pass, then I'll make sure that we find the body.
There is just one final thing that, if I may, it's something that I'd like to discuss with you personally. It's just, and he sort of looks around. Are there any other red wizards of the Fae here?
No, you're alone.
Oh, okay. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. He says, you understand that this soulmonger is an incredibly powerful artifact. From what I've gleaned from the research that your researchers have gathered so far, it's possibly unsurmounted in its power. It could surpass even that of a god, and you have Valindra out there looking for it. Forgive me, I'm probably being incredibly naive. As you've mentioned, I'm entirely incompetent sometimes, but what stops her from taking it and then deciding that she doesn't need you anymore?
Well, you see, dear boy, I have her phylactery.
That would do it.
And the phylacteries of the 8 other liches I have sent out to Chult.
Oh, well, in which case,
The eye
you've covered all
pops
your
back
bases.
out again as he gets kind of angry.
That was a very clever move, then.
So you hold all of their leashes tightly. Well, that's
Yes,
fantastic.
I do. And I will be holding yours as well.
Right. Well, I'm no good to you as they are. You see, if you have all of your eggs in the same basket, all liches looking for her, it only takes that to go wrong for one of them, and it goes wrong for all of them. You need someone still with a ticker that's still pumping. So, I mean, you can always have your use of me afterwards, can't you? A powerful individual such as
I will
yourself.
have my way with you and your body when
Wonderful.
its uses have been used up. And that mortal vessel is worth nothing but a hunk of flesh.
Well, in which case, I don't have much time to waste if I want to get out there and find this for you. I mean, you are my new owner. I want to please you. Obviously, I'm subservient.
Yes.
So, where do we go from here? I mean, how do we get back to the business of finding you your most deserved and most desired of artifacts before someone else appropriates it and snatches away your godhood?
Well, good question. You need a guide to lead you to Omu, to the lost temple of the 9 gods. Yes, 1 lich for each god, 1 phylactery for each. You will find the temple, the soulmonger, and then you will draw like a beacon in the night. My lich is there to inhabit the soulmonger. And then I will be gifted the godhood which I so deserve. And he puts the eyeball back in place. For this, I believe you'll need a special kind of guide. And he
He's gonna rip his eye out.
looks towards the door from which you came through, and you see the figure of a boy walking through.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
You see the figure of Miles walking in undead, leashed. And Tolksar said, one of my 9 will lead you there.
You found a use for it. That's you are so fantastic. Human resources really is your speciality. Although he's not really, but fantastic. We're already acquainted. He can take over from here. You've wasted enough of your time with myself. I'm used to wasting time with Miles, and we'll be on our way then.
Yes, I have found a use for the boy. And as Miles steps in, he says, hello, Bartleby.
You still carry things?
Yeah, where is all my stuff? You vanished with my entire second suitcase.
I found a far more important master than you, Bartleby.
Well, of course you found him, but I mean, you'll be working under me, under his supervision.
Silence! And the whole room falls silent. And you're speaking still, but you can't hear any words coming out. And the undead flesh of Miles like jitters. And he then like dispels. You will not speak unless spoken to, Bartleby. The way you treated me in my life.
Payback is a bitch, man.
I will have my vengeance, but not until we make it to the temple. Once there, then I will have my vengeance from you, Bartleby Baxter. And Tolksar says, I think you're going to enjoy the time here with your new guide. Unfortunately, we're going to need to keep an eye on you. And he
No.
brings Miles forwards, and Miles obeys of a command. And he reaches to Miles's eye, rips it out, holds it in his hand, looks at it, gives it a lick. Rips out his own eye, which was falling out. Holds it to Miles. Miles gives it a lick. Master, thank you. And shoves it into the socket. And Miles is standing there, and the eye, which is out of the place for a moment, just kind of comes up to look at you. I think that should be worthy. Now, any questions?
Check, please.
I think I've lost my appetite.
You can stay and eat. The food is very good.
I think we should. I think we should be on his way, on our way.
I think we shouldn't waste any time.
Yeah, I try not to eat anything I was once on a first name basis with, so we should yes, head off. How are we teleporting out of this place?
Miles? And Miles, yes, Master, yes. And a black portal appears before you as Miles outreaches his arms with a swirling mystic energy in his hands, and the tear in the fabric of reality opens up. Please, go first, master, he says to Bartleby mockingly.
Bartleby just stands there. Oh, me! I thought you meant he's your master. Right, and
It's for all time's sakes. Go, go, go.
yeah, he heads through.
All right, you head through the portal.
You die instantly. It's a spear of annihilation.
Yes. Everyone heads through.
Yeah, I'll
yeah,
go.
we follow
Yeah.
through, I guess. Yeah. Do the two other guys come with us? Wizard, I keep forgetting their names.
Artis Simba and
Dragonbait.
Dragonbait are left behind.
I
Kind of sad.
You head through the portal. And
like an idiot.
like a fool. And as we hit that point, we're going to go into our third and final 2 insight sections of the night. And when we come back after a 5-minute episode lap, we will find out where our characters are going and how on earth they're going to get out of this one. Alright guys, we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes time. Stay safe. Enjoy. Don't think about eyes too much. So... I'm loving the eye puns in chat, by the way. So, our third and final section of the night is talking about accents, teaching ourselves voices, using tone and pacing, and a bunch of different skills within our tool set, I suppose, as a dungeon master to characterize not only villains, but all kinds of characters that are around in our world. Now, I just was playing a Lich, and the master of the Lich, the undead Wizard of Fey, Tolksar, and you guys may have picked up on a couple of the weird things that I was doing in that one to help characterize the character. Now, personalize the character, I guess. So, here's the thing with for instance, let's take the example of Tolksar, a Lich, yeah? He doesn't really have any kind of accent to him. He's basically just my voice, but kind of lower. And that's all you can do sometimes. That's all it needs occasionally is just a little bit of a change in pitch. For instance, when I'm playing female characters, I'll often go a little bit higher. I obviously don't sound just like a woman. That would be impossible. But, it's about as close as I can get, really. And it just shows that there's a difference in my own voice and difference of... that female NPC. With Tolksar, you go nice and low, and feel free to use your whole mouth. With someone like Tolksar, especially a villain, you got to have a lot of wet, slobbery sounds in there. It's got to be gross, and so it's not just the accent that is part of doing a character or doing a voice or playing a role. It's everything, like the eye, you pull down the eye and it looks gross. When you're playing the character, you can use this whole tool set at your disposal when thinking of playing a particular character that you want them to remember. And I feel like they're pretty much gonna remember Tolksar for his weird eye stuff that's going on, which is obviously a weird trait of his, and of course the wet slobbery voice noises as well. Miles similarly doesn't really have, I'm not doing a Scottish accent or anything. You don't have to learn any kind of accent to do a voice like that. You can, simply just sound a little bit wild, and everyone can kind of do a voice a little bit like that. It's not like you need to have like be able to do a Northern Irish accent for every character you do and sound like Liam Neeson. There's a lot you can play with tone, with the speed at which you speak as well. Pacing is another one. So tone being, like if I start speaking in a dark voice like this, I'm probably playing some kind of villain. And if you're playing a lighter voice character and the tone of your voice is much higher, maybe you're playing a female. With pacing, that's another great one for villains, in particular. So with Tolksar, he tends to speak very slowly, because every word that comes out of his eyes is very important. Yeah. Whereas with voicing a character like Miles, he speaks a lot quicker. The velocity at which he's speaking is far faster. You know, or for instance, Bartleby's character, Josh's character, you know, he's always speaking very quickly. You know, Bartleby's always speaking all the time, and he's saying this, what, that, and the other, and it doesn't really matter exactly what he's saying, but the velocity at which he's speaking characterizes the character and voices him just as much as anything else. So the rate at which you speak can be a good one as well. The power of silence, you know, can be much overlooked, especially when you've got a good villain. You know, they don't speak all the time because the value of what the character is saying. You know, they really think about what they're saying. So think about that with your villains and your heroes as well, and NPCs that come around. As far as actually learning an accent goes, this has been a difficult one. I mean, I just kind of have watched videos on YouTube before about it, which has been helpful, but it really is just practice. You know, your vocal cords are an instrument that you can train. And the more you butcher accents, the more you just try. That second point, the importance of being earnest, and bad accents the best. Eventually, your bad accent will become better and better and better the more you do it. So it really is a you know, a practice thing, I feel like. So there's plenty you can do. You know, consider using your whole mouth, using your body as well. That's an important one. I mean, if you're standing up, you get so much more breath in your lungs. Breath in your lungs than if you're like sitting down in a hunch, but that's something that you can use to your advantage as well. If you're playing, you know, an old crippled character, just like, you know, you can hold yourself up, and then naturally you don't have as much breath in your lungs to do it. Whereas if I'm playing a bard and I'm a hero like this, you know, opening up your chest allows you to get more air in, makes you you know, be able to speak at a higher volume and a more broadness, I guess, to your voice. So there's a couple of things that I think about when I'm doing characters. Like I say, I'm not a voice actor. I make this stuff up basically, and there's just a couple of things that I've kind of put together over the course of playing some different characters and getting things wrong and getting things right eventually after a series of getting them wrong. So that really is the process, you know. It's get it wrong, get it wrong, get it wrong, bad accent, bad accent, bad accent. Okay, this kind of works a little bit. And having that confidence in which you sell the voice, that you believe that you are that character, makes the other characters believe it as well, even if you're not doing this, you know, perfect, you know, whatever accent. But it can be learned, you know. It's a practice thing as well. I see what you guys are saying. Oh, that's fucking ban people. Sorry, I don't know where the mods are, man. I'll do that. Thank you for the host, there you go. Best triggers that you can make. Game breakers is correct in that, yes. So, other than that, let's head back to our cast, and let's head into the last section of tonight's game, and have a good time. Alright, players, we are back with you guys. How's everybody feeling? You feeling good?
I'm stressed.
I'm sure this is going to be just fine.
Nothing bad could happen.
Nothing bad could happen. Nothing bad at all. So, let's dive back into the scenario. You've just headed through this little portal here, and we're away on good times with your new friend, the Lich. Yeah, apologies for that comment, guys. I got it in the end there, but sorry, I wasn't checking chat as quickly as I could have done. My apologies. The group of you head through the portal, and you find yourselves in one of your favorite places in the world. What's your favorite place in the world, guys? It's
Ice Cream Factory.
No, but close. It's Chult. And you find yourselves in the hot and heavy jungles of Chult once more.
Explain to me how the hot and heavy jungle atmosphere of Chult is like an ice cream factory. Justify that to me, Will.
No.
Okay.
So the portal closes behind you. Miles jumps through after you as well, the now Lich Miles. And the group you find yourselves thick, in the thickness of the jungles once again. The heat is oppressive. She thick. And there are dinosaurs moving around in the brush. Miles steps through after the group of you and says, "It's this way. Come on. Now."
Yeah, we follow.
Okay.
It's nice to see you again, Miles.
But Bert follows him and sort of... Miles, what exactly happened to you?
Miles does not want to speak to you.
Right.
Yeah, Miles is like, he is on the path right now, you know?
Okay.
And when you're trying to speak to him, he'll throw up an arm, he'll cast silence on you if needs be.
Okay. Yeah, he
Is that
casts...
for everyone or just Bartleby?
Yes.
Mostly Bartleby, he speaks the most.
This is true. Yeah, Bartleby learns after like the third attempt of like he's a little persistent, but he finally gives up the goat. And can you tell us how far we're going? Yeah, will we need more supplies? We need to eat. You see, unlike yourself. How are we doing for rations? Score.
I think we're at 5.
5 days of rations.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Miles does not respond. You know, he is unresponsive. He is like dead to the world, especially you.
Okay. Damn.
So, Miles, you don't really feel like talking right now, I take it?
No response.
All right.
Wonderful.
Okay.
He is leading the way, and he's not stopping.
Okay. So yes, he will just follow and if we drop back, does he drop his pace as well? Like not like just drop out of earshot.
He'll be fairly far away from you, whether or not that's out of earshot for a lich like Miles.
Yeah,
is up to
yeah.
you.
Like normal.
Normal earshot, yeah.
Yeah. Just looks to the group and says, so I apologize for everything I sort of pledged us to there, but they have a reputation, you see. I hope you don't think less of me for bowing so easily.
We had very little choice in the matter, and it appears as though we're being taken to where we need to be, so perhaps this is going to solve our problem of having to resolve this quickly.
And remember, Baxter, when you bow, you can always rise again. Otherwise,
You're a man of the understanding of death, Fulton. I have a question.
Yes.
What exactly do you think, if this is currently running rampant and acting on its own, what do you think the Soulmonger will do if it has someone to give it purpose? Food for thought.
I think you know as well as I, it's to take dominion of both this plane and all others, to replace all the gods, to erase them and seat themselves with dominion above not just this plane, but all planes.
Right. Well, in which case, we best not lose sight of Miles, as he appears to be the one who's guiding us to our fate.
Well,
Go ahead.
It seems to be a good thing, though. I'm trying to stay positive. You see that we get sensitivity training in the guild, so I'm trying
Both
to keep
in and out of character. He laughs.
we learned more than we knew before, and now we are on the right path, which we didn't even know what that was, and we were in this weird fiery sandy dirt world, and now we're back in something that's somewhat familiar. So things actually are looking up, really.
and we at least have a clock now to know how close our patrons and loved ones are to perishing, shuffling loose this mortal coil.
Yes, we really ought not dilly. Miles, slow down, and he sort of like jogs to catch up with Miles.
Yeah. All right. Miles leads you through the thickets of the jungle at a breakneck speed for traveling through Chult. He is relentless and does not stop for anything. Any creatures that come nearby, Miles will incinerate, and using fireballs, using the array of incredibly forceful spells that he has at his command. Undead creatures flee in his wake, as do regular kind of dinos, I suppose. Until you arrive at nightfall in at a wooden hut in the forest, or in the jungle. There is a lone hut which is made from thatch and animal hides, stretched over the ribcage of an immense reptile. Animal skulls, wind chimes, and totems of feathers and shells rattle in the breeze, and smoke drifts from the hut. A creature shuffles slowly around the hut, hunched over in an animal-like posture. You realize it's a human woman, impossibly old, crippled by arthritis, blinded by cataracts. Her dark face and bald, skinless almost hairless skin, I suppose, are outlined with streaks of yellow clay, suggesting the shape of a skull. Or perhaps it's her shriveled flesh creating that illusion. And Miles stops and says, "We're here. You must speak with her. Now." Please.
May I? He gestures to the woman and says, "We come seeking something of great power. We are representatives of powerful individuals. Do you understand what I'm saying?"
She looks at you with some sparkle of recognition in her eyes. There is like bone charms around her neck, and she begins to say what you think might be a little prayer, kind of raises her arms up, and you sense that something magical is happening. You're not exactly sure what, but some kind of cantrip was most likely just cast when she did that. And she says, "Welcome, welcome. You must come in. You need to come in. Come, follow Nanny Poo Poo."
Of course.
Sort of recognizing some of these bones and skull imagery, Fulton definitely goes in. He and what her shamanistic sort of nature intrigues him, but also is similar to sort of his own ornamentation and his holy symbols.
Yeah. She leads you inside the hut with small totemic charms, bracelets, and teeth which are hanging from her hut. It smells strongly of a deep incense, like that of the dirt and the earth. And Nanny Poo Poo will let you inside her pretty dark hut.
Yes, we follow Nanny Poo Poo, but to what end, though? To what end?
That is.
That's always the question.
That's always the question, isn't it, really? She lets you in and says, "We must commune with the spirits. Each of you must learn of the jungle. Feel its beating heart."
The jungle, beating heart, that's a living thing, yes?
She nods once, quite gravely.
So, why do you seem like a wise individual. You know why we've come. Why aid us?
She says, "Freeing the world of the soulmonger must be done."
As she says that, I want to look towards Miles. Does he react in any way to that?
Miles hasn't entered into the tent. He's waiting
Oh,
outside.
right,
Yeah.
okay. So he says, there is a lich right outside your hut. You saw him approach. He is of great power, and he represents those of even greater power. That is who you would be aiding if you aid us.
And the poo-poo does not discriminate. She must help all who come to her hut.
Why?
It is the balance.
Do you know of a way to actually destroy the soulmonger?
She smiles and says, "Perhaps the visions will tell us. Perhaps the spirits of the jungle will help you."
How do we talk to them or ask them the questions that we have?
She begins to like hum a low kind of and she bids each of you of a hand to join in that hum until it comes to a point where there's sort of a slight chorus of humming in the hut, and she can use that kind of dirgy kind of low in the throat kind of. It's time for another Bartleby's performance. It sounds like. Kind of dirgy hymn almost. You begin to feel the room, the incense and the kind of smoke in the room begin to drift around in circles. And you'll see like little dancing lights within the smoke of tiny little spirits and wisps which float around the circumference of the room. And the group of you begin to feel this strange kind of euphoric understanding. It's like getting high or something, you know, like there's a strange kind of buzz which you guys are feeling at the moment, which must be like chemical or magical or something. And as you're feeling that magic kind of course round and round the room, each of you is granted a vision. We will start with the vision which Fulton is given. And I'm going to ask for the other players really quickly to take off their headphones.
I'll say Fulton was, basically down into his sort of meditation pose almost immediately. Communing with nature, communing with the swamp, being a furl bog. This is very much in line with how he's lived his life for the last century. So, yeah.
Yeah. You give in to the spirits of the jungle and Nanny Poo Poo's magics ensorcel and swirl around you. And you see the figure of a leering skull appearing in front of your very eyes. You're on some kind of dark plane. You're not sure where exactly you are. And the figure before you speaks. Fulton, I am lost. I am your goddess. But I have become lost. The soulmonger's power grows daily, and I cannot best it. I need your strength.
You have always had it, and you will have it now. Your guidance across journeys, across the greatest journey of all, that from life to death, has been my cause for as long as I can remember. What can I do? How can I assist in restoring you and this world to the balance and the gateway between life and death to what it should be?
The Temple of the Nine Gods holds the Soulmonger. I sense its presence even now. Journey there you must, although that much you know already. But once there, the spirits of the jungle must be brought to bear. There is old magic in this land, long forgotten magic. The roots of the trees, stems of the plants, hold the magic of life within them still, despite the Soulmonger's power. You must use that ancient power once more and cleanse the temple. Though it will not be easy, there are those who seek to betray us and our cause. I do not trust to your companions the power that the soulmonger holds corrupts all. Those without faith will be tested, and I am not sure that they will succeed.
I understand. I will assist them however I can, so that they will not fall to this corruption. But if they do, you have shown me the bigger picture. In fact, I believe that I have deduced it myself of the horrible fate that faces all of us if the soulmonger is not destroyed. How can I call upon this ancient magic?
I will grant you what is left of my power within your world. When the time comes, you must use it, but know that it may end me.
You, of all people, have always shown and been one to teach that sacrifice is sometimes necessary for all to be able to survive. If there is no other way, I will do as you ask, even if it means the end of you.
Thank you, Fulton. My time here is spent. I wish you good luck and farewell.
And he does a ritual bow that he has known since he was a boy, and just goes back into quiet contemplation.
Alright, let's go back to the group and let's ask. Let's see. Let us ask. Who should we have next? Let's have Solomon next. There we go, perfect. So we'll go with Solomon's vision here. Other players, I'll ping you when it's your time. Solomon. Go. Not there. Here we go. So Solomon, you feel
After my pupils are dilated.
after your pupils are dilated, you feel that same mystical energy swirling around you. There is blackness in a void, and a figure comes from the darkness before you. You recognize it to be that of Tulksar, the undead wizard of Fae. And he looks towards you with a look of malice upon his face, and that warm feeling that you had begins to turn to a cold, sinking feeling in your heart. Tulksar says, Solomon, you can hear me at last. Good. Solomon, your life is coming to an end, but it can still be useful.
What do you mean?
Solomon. When Felindra had you in that cage of hers, she did have time to play with you a little bit, to play with your organs, to instill upon you a curse. Yes. Soon it'll have its effect. You will become my minion, raised again. And I would just like for you to know before the end that your life is coming to a very sticky end.
Curse you, foul lich, that you would do this to me. Why should I believe you?
Oh,
Believe me if you will, or choose not to, it matters not. Your fate has been sealed. You will be my ninth. You will be my ninth.
And as the vision of Tolksar fades from you, Solomon, you start to feel very bad. But that's all that there is in the vision for now. The fates have woven that story for Solomon, and it's time for Reverie. So, Reverie, headphones back in, there we go, and Pruitt is off. So, Reverie. You stoop into something of a reverie.
Oh,
And you see before you, out of the void of darkness, the figure of your old guild leader, the head of your order of the assassins. He's speaking to you from the darkness. Reverie. Reverie. Ah, good, you can hear me. I've managed to contact you while you are in Charles, because I have something very important for you. A task far more important that will bring gold and glory to your name. Will send you high up in the ranks of our order. Perhaps to the same height as myself.
what is it? I can do absolutely anything that you ask me to do. I thought that you thought I wasn't ready, and that's why you sent me here. This.
This was your first task. Now, this will be your next most important task. When you reach the tomb of the 9 gods, Reverie, one of your companions will turn against you. Fulton. He seems like a true cleric, but he is not. You cannot trust him. His connection to the gods has been stopped, and I fear that the Red Wizards of Fae have truly taken a hold upon his mind.
This can't be true. I know Fulton all too well. That just can't be true.
Sometimes the answer lies before our very eyes. He is a cleric of the grave, Reverie. This death curse affects the living and the dead. Only he has access to both realms of power. When you reach the tomb of the 9 gods, be ready. For Fulton may turn against you, and when he does, you must be ready to end his life.
Well, that's what I've been trained to do. I've been trained to take lives. It's not something new to me.
Yes. Good. Then you know what to do, Reverend. And the voice of your guild leader fades away from the vision. And last but not least, we are going to speak with Baxter for our final vision of tonight. Bartleby,
Yes.
you are having a vision. The darkness swirls around your vision, and a figure appears before you. Through the darkness, you see the boyish figure, human and clearly alive, of Miles. And he's speaking to you. Bartleby? Is that you?
Miles, is that you? Truly you?
Truly, I believe that it is. My soul has been trapped here.
What happened to you?
Sense a connection to the The woman. Bartleby, I died.
What do you mean you? Who? Listen, if you can tell me who it was, I promise you, I will ensure that this is undone. If it is the last thing I do.
The wizard. The Tolksa. It was him. They were the ones that got to me. But my soul is still here, I think.
I failed you. I know that I do not come across as the most compassionate of individuals. I understand that. But you actually showed more potential and grit than any other apprentice protege I was ever given. In fact, to tell you the truth, I may have lied to you when I told you that you were given to me as a cast-off. Truth be told, I actually chose you. You had more of the right stuff. Every other individual, they were looking for something fast and easy and quick, and yet you put up with everything we threw at you. And I was too hard on you. I am truly sorry.
All is forgiven. That thing which is left of me is not me.
I know that. But I'm still going to do what I can. You see, I need to find where you are. I need to locate you, the real you. And when I do, I will use whatever power I have, whatever I can, whatever I have at my disposal. Maybe Fulton might be able to help, but I promise you that when I find a way to bring you back, I will give you the recognition you so rightfully deserve and a place at my side.
Thank you, Bartleby. I'm sure you will succeed. I must go now. The darkness is drawing in once again.
Before you go, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you when you're back. Truly back.
Okay. I look forward to seeing you again.
As do I, my dear friend. As do I.
And the vision fades away. And let's wait for our group to put their headphones back on. As the group of you awaken in the hut of the witch doctor, you all see that outside there's light coming through, so it must be dawn. All of you sit up, except for Solomon, whose cold, dead body lies on the floor before you. And as you look at his corpse, you see a little finger twitch.
Oh no.
Oh,
And then a
no.
hand. And then an arm. And then his legs. And he stands upright, rigidly and shambling. And you see the zombified figure of Solomon Gishtar before you. Miles, the Lich, steps in and says, it looks as though we have our ninth. And that is where we're going to wrap up tonight's episode of Learn by Play, Tomb of Annihilation, my friends.
I will live forever.
Witness me!
Witness!
Holy mackerel. Oh, yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
a bad man, Will. You're a bad man.
Thank you.
Wow.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this. You guys got 5 minutes, and then all you Toast fans, you'll get some Toast, you get some Trump in the show here. Heroes Graveyards in 5 minutes time, so hang in for the next show. But we're wrapping up our cast here. We're a crew from Encounter Roleplay. We stream Dungeons & Dragons all the time. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon. If you enjoy the channel, if you enjoyed the show, you want to catch more, you can find us on twitch.tv/Encounter Roleplay. You can hit us with a follow us over here. I'll link that to you guys in chat. We'd love to see you guys come along, hang out with the rest of our D&D sessions. We're on plenty of podcasts, plenty of D&D live streams as well. It's been a great time. A bunch of people were asking me if I pre-wrote all of the vision stuff. I didn't actually, no. I didn't have anything written down. We kind of just winged it there for the last 15 to 20 minutes, but it all kind of made sense in the end there. So yeah, I kind of winged it there, but it got there in the end. But let's go around the cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online real quick? Also, special thanks to Jonathan Pruitt from WebDM Show for coming on today and for filling in for Louise and being such a good sport, letting me kill you. Let's start with you, Pruitt. What do you think of tonight's show, my friend?
Oh, it was a blast, man. Thanks for having me on. I had a great time.
Glad to have you, man. It was a lot of fun. We can find you online places, right?
Yeah, you can hit us up over at we got a Twitch over there, WebDM Show. You can find us over on YouTube, YouTube/WebDM. Like us over on Facebook. I think we also have an Instagram. Hit us up on Patreon if you want to support us. But hey, we're all over, and come on for a little talk with me and Jim, my co-host.
Hell yeah! Exciting news. I think it's been announced already, but I'll be DMing for the Sable Dice Show. Jonathan's going to be on that as well. So shout out to those guys. Really excited for that campaign. Let's quickly whip around. I don't want to spend too much time because I know you guys are hungry for your toast right now. Let's start with Toast School.
Hey, I had a great time. Always interesting in the Tomb of Annihilation. Clutch nat 20, or else Fulton would have been a dead guy on the floor, or maybe I would have been the 9th Lich. Who knows? But anyway, you can find me all over social media as Tall Squall. If you go to my Twitter at Tall Squall, there's links to everything else, and I hope to see you around the interwebs. Have a great one.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic, Sydney.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, that was crazy. The twist. That was really cool, really interesting. A nice way to have an in and out guest sort of thing. But anyway, you can find me everywhere at Sydneyak on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. It's all Sydneyak. And then I am on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesdays, and then I have a podcast called Wonder Quest, which you can follow on Twitter at WonderQuestPod.
Great stuff. And last but not least, Josh.
Yeah, it's brutal, it's horrible, it makes me sad, and that's what you want from D&D, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Please?
Yeah.
It's always a blast. Speaking of things that are brutal and horrible and sort of make you die a little inside, check out Turncloaks, because that's just a wonderful. We've actually recording tomorrow for some fresh Turncloak stuff coming your way, but there's loads of stuff coming up. Which Will's got planned, loads of little exclusives that are coming up, so super excited for them. But you can find me on Encounter Roleplay, doing Encounter Roleplay things on Mondays and Tuesdays, and over to Will.
Great stuff. Well, thank you guys once again. Thank you to Wizard of the Coast for allowing us to come on their stream once again and cause havoc and mischief. You guys enjoy in the next show, Heroes Graveyard. We'll be starting on the hour. You guys are going to have some good times coming up. Can't wait for the next show. Big Toast fan myself, so I'm going to be enjoying some of that stuff right now. But thank you guys for joining us. If you want to follow us, you can find us at Encounter RP on Twitter. I'll drop you guys a link one last time. If you want to come give us some love, watch some more Dungeons and Dragons streams, feel free to, my friends. But until next time, try not to roll too many net ones. We're going to be here laughing when you do. And good night, everybody. Farewell. Goodbye.